Today on MC Sports, we have the Saratoga Falcons taking on the Palo Alto Vikings. It's the Falcons and the Vikings coming up next on MC Sports. Good evening, everybody. I'm Casey Hornby, your play-by-play announcer, and welcome to Palo Alto High School. And joining me today is Oliver Marburg and Zachary Silver to give you an in-depth analysis of the game. Today we have an outstanding matchup between the Palo Alto Vikings and the Atlanta Falcons, or should I say the Saratoga Falcons. Any initial thoughts, Oliver?
Yeah, if you see Paly's schedule, it's blowout, blowout, blowout. But this 0-7 Saratoga Falcons team, things could change. We're poised for a close one. These teams can prove themselves in this game.
And I completely agree with Oliver as the Falcons are coming in at 0-7. And how about you, Zach? Any thoughts about this game?
Well, there's no doubt about it. Both of these teams are struggling, but this is a game they can turn things around. The crowd is out here, and just one good play, one score, one win, and all of a sudden you're rolling.
And I completely agree, as it is homecoming here at Palo Alto High School. We have the opening kickoff coming up next on MC Sports. And we're back here as we have the opening national anthem coming up right before the kickoff, as people will either take a knee or take a stand.
And the anthem has been played.
And we're back here as we're just ready to kick this game off, as we got the pump, we got everything, as that national anthem was played by the band of the Palo Alto Vikings. I'm excited for this, Oliver. You're excited for this. And I'll tell you the reason I'm excited for this. It's just because both teams are having such a, I'm going to say, a bad season. Both teams are having a bad season. The Saratoga Falcons are coming at 0-7, and the Palo Alto Vikings are coming at 1-6. So the Vikings have the edge by one game. The Vikings' one win was to the Homestead on, I believe, November 22nd. They won 28-14. The Falcons played Homestead, and they lost. So that may mean that Vikings could get their second win of the game and their first win here this year. So I am excited. We're ready, and we're pumped. Any other thoughts besides your opening thoughts?
Well, may I add, there's a lot more extra energy in this stadium, saying that it's homecoming week.
So we got the floats over there.
Yeah, the floats are looking really cool. It's just a lot of energy, and I think both teams are pumped for this one.
And also, as the captains come out, I'd like to remind you guys that we'll see no Jameer Shepard for the second week straight for the Palo Alto Vikings on offense, and that's annoying. How's that going to affect those Vikes? Zach?
Well, every team needs a dynamic player, and Jameer was that player for Paly, and they're going to have to find someone else to take that role going forward.
not playing due to undisclosed reasons, but we're ready to see this game as, man, this crowd's pretty spirited in that student section. They're yelling. They're excited here.
Go Vikes is their chant, and they like to say it a lot.
They're ready as they've been talking about this game all year, just about this could be their chance, you know, their one win, even though they've already had one. This could be their home win. This could be one. Besides Los Altos coming in next week, that could also be a win for them. This is their game they've been talking about all week because Saratoga has not won a game all year. So they want this one. And on the Falcons side of the board, they've also obviously struggled a lot. Their quarterback, led by their quarterback, I believe, number 12, Nicholas Rostiano, their senior quarterback. He's 5'9", only weighs 175 pounds. And how do you feel about him, Oliver?
Well, I mean, like we've been saying, this team is winless, but he's their captain for a reason. He needs to lead this offense and get a win here at Palo Alto.
Another key player for the Falcons is Robert Scott, the running back, cornerback captain, senior 5'8". He's also a very good player for the Falcons. Zach, what's your prediction for tonight?
I'm going with Paly. It's hard to lose with your home crowd behind you, and there's sure to be some extra adrenaline pumping through their bloods tonight.
Even without star wide receiver sophomore Jameer Shepard and number 81, Bray Johnson, senior wide receiver, you picked the Vikings to win. How about you, Oliver?
I also got the Vikings. Like you said earlier, Saratoga took a loss to Homestead, and that's the one win that Paly's had all year. So
it kind of shows, you know, it's a one. It shows if Paly.
Yeah, one game can make a huge difference in the season. So I think I got Paly in a squeaker.
So after we had the opening toss, it looks to be that it's going to be Saratoga kicking this ball away, and Kyle Mostafazade's Vikings are going to be starting on offense. And as I say, Kyle Mostafazade's Vikings, we don't exactly know, as Mostafazade started the last game in a blowout versus Milpitas. It was, I believe, 49-0. He started that through pick, and Chris played the rest of the game.
And the players have taken the field, the fans are out in full force, and we're ready for some high school football.
Friday night under the lights here, as kicking this ball off for the Saratoga Falcons, believes to be number 10, Quentin Dozier. The senior kicking this ball away as it's hype here. We're ready for Friday night under the lights here. I'm Casey Hormick once again, along with Oliver Marburg. And Zachary Silver, the lefty kicker, sets to kick this ball off. The hype level coming up. It's going to be a good one here as we're ready for the kickoff. Wow, what an interesting kick. It's almost a Rabona. It's going to be returned by number 16, Bryant Jefferson, the tight end, still on his feet as he goes to the 45 for the kickoff.
Yeah, Bryant Jefferson returning that kick, not a usual thing you can see. He's leading the team in sacks, so a very disruptive player on the defensive end.
That's a very interesting kick right there.
Yeah,
I thought it was a lefty. He did almost a Rabona kick.
Yeah, I almost thought that they were going to do an onside kick for some reason, the way they were lining up in that kickoff, but it was just a little blooper.
Yeah, that was number 10 once again, Quint Dozier. So it's going to be Jackson Chris as the quarterback for the Vikings. Not starting as Kyle Mostafazade, it's Chris. So Chris is going to do a play action Chang. Chris is going to throw it to Fee, way incomplete. Not the best first throw for Chris.
Yeah, that's not how they wanted to start this game off. They need to get out there and start moving the ball right away.
But do you like the play call of going for kind of a deeper pass on the first play of the game?
I do, because they usually do run the ball, so a play action pass. But I think what happened on that play, I think Chris didn't think that Thee was going to cut there. Maybe thought he was just going to run a
And it kind of shows how the confidence is for Paly this game. They're coming out with confidence, I think. I think they think they can win this. As he's going to hand it off to Aiden Chang. Chang's going to go for about 5 and get about 5. It's going to be 3rd and 5 for the Vikes.
Yeah, you just see that resilience there, refusing to go down, pushing through for an extra 3 yards. That's what Paly needs tonight.
So it's going to be 12-minute quarters here in Palo Alto, as they still have not marked it on the scoreboard, but it believes to be as they finally do. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Vikings. What do you expect here?
I think they're going to pass it to probably to Paul Thee, because Jameer Shepard's out. He's their number 1 receiver right now.
So as we see here, Chris under center is going to hand it off to Chang. Chang's going to go, and he's going to get the first for the Vikes.
Yeah, that's Paly's offense. Run the ball, plow through. and see if something happens.
And you can already see the difference in the D-line compared to the Milpitas Trojans last week. That would have not been a first down if it was the Milpitas Trojans playing defense.
Not at all. That Milpitas D-line, defense in general, is just couldn't run the ball, pass the ball on them all day.
Is that Milpitas team carried by Notre Dame hopeful Tariq Bracey as he ran for a good margin that game we called. But back to the game we're calling right now. Falcons and Vikings, as it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Chris under center on 1st and 10. Someone jumped, no flag called. Chris, play action again, just like last 1st and 10. He's going to scramble, more confidence than ever, but he throws this ball away, almost picked off by the Falcons.
Yeah, Paly's experimenting with what they have right now, but they're very quickly realizing they can outmatch the Saratoga D-line, and they're going to use that.
And we got Kyle Mostafazadeh checking in for the Vikings, I believe, as Chris goes in out, and that is very rare to see a flip-flop like that, as you don't see many teams do that. That is interesting.
Yeah, they definitely got a dual quarterback threat, like back and forth, back and forth. We have seen this from Paly, switching out these quarterbacks often. So
it's not like Chris started with a pretty good start, but it's maybe I don't even know if Saratoga noticed. That's the thing.
Yeah, you might not know.
Mostafazadeh hands this one off. It's gonna be Chang. Chang's gonna go for 5, and PG Paul Jackson III, yes, PG3 is on the sideline still has entered the game. Aiden Chang starting again for the Vikes.
Yeah,
I mean, Paly's still figuring out who they want to be. They're trying different looks, and sooner or later they'll see something will get going.
Yeah, and it's surprising because we're already in the 9th week of high school football here, and they haven't figured out things yet.
Is it 3rd down or just
It's 2nd and 20 for the Vikings. So the Vikings under center is going to be Mostafazadeh. Mostafazadeh hands it off to Chang. Chang has a bit of a hole, and he's tackled this time by number 32 on the Falcons, Justin Yagobi, the linebacker junior. He's a great player. He's a 6'1", 175 junior, plays linebacker, and he's a great addition to this Saratoga Falcons team.
And what I've seen from Aiden Chang so far, he's been initially stopped and then just fighting forward for extra yards.
So it's going to be 3rd and 12 for the Vikings, as Wes Walters checks in for the Vikings, the fullback who's a star on the defensive side, doesn't play much on offense.
I have to imagine, but they run it again.
And they do, as you say, and it's a loss of 1 as Mostafazadeh hands it off to Aiden Chang, and not much done there, as maybe a go for it because there's not much to lose, but I suspect the punt team coming on.
Well, that was a great stop by number 72, Ryan Balon on the Saratoga side. Just got into the backfield and didn't let Aiden Chang escape his grip.
So the Falcons escape it right there on their first possession on defense. They're going to get the Vikings to punt as the big punter for the Vikings come out. It's going to be Andres Jimenez, the O-lineman, D-lineman, one of the bigger punters in the whole football.
Yeah, I mean, Paly's run game is working, but at some point you've got to pass it or you'll get stopped.
You're right, as a flag thrown as Jimenez punts it, and that's a great punt right there, as it's down by thigh, and it's around their 5, but we'll see what this flag is.
The flag was thrown immediately when the play started at the line of scrimmage.
So you got to think it's on the line.
I imagine it'll either be offsides or false start.
And you're right, it is false start. They'll probably decline that. Or maybe, yeah, I believe they'll decline that.
No, I think.
Or maybe not, because field position, they don't have the best one right now.
Repunt.
That was a great punt. Probably an easy decision for them.
Yeah, Jimenez will have to go back onto the field and try to do it again, and not nearly as good as field position. So, see what he can do now. 4th and 16 for the Vikes. Jimenez once again is 265 pounds. Jimenez to punt. He punts this ball away, and that's a dime, as I should say, as this is a nice punt. It's going to be rolled off of the Saratoga Falcons, but they recovered at about the 12-yard line.
A blocker accidentally kicked the ball, and once it's been touched by the receiving team, you can recover it as a fumble. That was a close one there.
So Nick Berry recovers it with 8 minutes, 13 seconds left in the first quarter. As for the first time all day, the Saratoga Falcons go in on offense as their quarterback, Nicholas Rostiano. What do you expect from him, Oliver?
I think they're going to come out gunning. I think they can take advantage of this Paly defense that really hasn't been showing up the past few weeks, as they've been giving up a lot of points.
So Rostiano looking for his first win of his senior year. Rostiano is going to hand this ball off to Nick Burry. Burry looks to get about 2 as he's going to go down for 2nd and 8 for the Falcons.
Yeah, and the first quarter, it's a lot of seeing what looks you can get off the defense. If that stop on first down was a big one, and they'll most likely resort to a pass here.
So they give him 4. Is it 2nd and 6? As you're right, Zach. They do get a pass, and this one's over to number 3, Harrison Fogg. And Fogg pushed out of bounds by the sophomore, Hunacio Henley. So Harrison Fogg gets a first down for the Falcons.
I really like that throw, just right out of the reach of the Paly defender, right where his receiver can get it. Just a beautiful throw.
So Rostiano gets 1 for 1 as he does a play action. And he's going to go. He's number 28. William Turpling goes for about 20, and he gets the first down.
Yeah, once again, the Paly defense cannot stop the pass, and they'll keep going right back to it until Paly can stop it.
And the Paly defense struggled like crazy last week in the first half versus the Trojans. And hopefully they don't struggle tonight, because that was not what these Vikings want to see on their homecoming. As Rostiano is going to throw, it looks to be. He's going to scramble, and man, he has wheels. Rostiano's going to go. Finally pushed out of bounds by number 7 on the Vikings, Dwayne Trahan, the junior.
Yeah, we're seeing 2 completely opposite offenses. The Falcons are going straight out with the pass and completing many of them, and meanwhile the Vikings have just been running it straight up the middle.
And it was a holding on the play. It was by the Falcons, so the Falcons are now going to get bad field possession. It looks to be 1st and around 20, as you see on the scoreboard. They should fix that soon. So Rostiano, the very speedy quarterback, can use his wheels. It's his first down and 35, man. He can use his wheels, though, huh, Zach?
Yeah, he's shown he can escape the pocket when he needs to.
Rostiano gonna run it, it looks to be. As he gets it away, it's gonna be caught.
Wow, that was a risky pass. He was just throwing it to the middle of
Caught by number 2, Alex Metz.
3 Paly defenders, and he just outjumped them.
I don't think that was the smartest play call on 1st and 35.
So it's going to be 2nd and 22. Pass thrown. It's going to be caught by number 3, Harrison Fogg. We'll see how they call it.
It's a great catch by Harrison Fogg. Nothing Genacio Henley can do about it.
And
first
that
down.
Incredible throw there.
First down. First down for the Aragon. Sorry, not the Aragon, the Saratoga Falcons, as it's going to be the quarterback, Nicholas Rostimo. Rostimo's going to give it over to number 24, J.J. Wong, and J.J. Wong not going to get much.
Yeah.
On the 3rd and 5, looks to be 4th.
Paly, they're not stopping the pass, but they're tackling them right after they catch it, and they're limiting the damage. But bend but not break defense isn't going to work in this
They
game.
call it first down for the Falcons. What were we going to say, Oliver?
They set up a little HB slip screen there. They moved the whole offensive line to the area where the ball is being thrown, and it just sets up a lot of room for J.J. Wong.
Yeah, and I love to use that play in Madden because it works every time.
Play in Madden.
Number 12, Nicholas Rostiano, is going to run it, it looks to be, but he's sacked by number 88 on the Vikings, Luis Passarello.
Yeah, the only time they've stopped the pass is when the defensive line puts pressure on, and that's going to be necessary for them this game.
Passarello, only a sophomore, he's 6'3", 235 pounds. The linebacker hits him hard there. It's a 5-yard loss for the Saratoga Falcons. It's 2nd and 15. Nicholas Rostiano gonna do a play action over to Metz, I believe. Metz tackled and kicked out of bounds by Paul Jackson III. And that was Metz, yes, or is it Harrison Fong? It was Harrison Fong. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Saratoga Falcons.
Yeah, they put Fogg in motion so he could run a little wheel route. Rossiano hits him right in stride. It's a nice little gain there for Saratoga.
5 minutes, 13 seconds left in this first quarter, still 0-0. What were you going to say, Zach?
They're only rushing 4 this time. I think they need to rush more to have a shot.
As Rostiano throws an incomplete pass by number 24, J.J. Wong. So punt team should come on for the Falcons.
And I think that was dropped by Wong because he heard the footsteps of Dwayne Trahan, was about to hit him hard, even if he caught that ball.
Yeah,
they kind of repeat what Paly did when they were on offense. As they punt it, they're around the same spot. Punter coming in is the same as the kicker, as we like to call him, Quinn Dozier, the fancy guy, as we saw on the kickoff.
Yeah, and both of these offenses are struggling. We'll see who can put something on the board first.
I'd be fine seeing the defensive battle lays. I love them. As Dozier kicks this ball off, and not much of it, as it's just an amazing kick. Nothing Paly can do there, as it's down by number 38 number 28, William Turpin.
Yeah, the defensive battles, field position is one of the most important things. I mean, the greatest performers in this game so far have been the punters. We've seen 2 really good kicks.
You're right, as the Vikings are going to get not very good field position. And if they win for both teams, maybe these 2 teams would have scored. They both had very good drives when you say Oliver, but the punter's doing a great job setting these 2 teams back.
Yeah, they've both gone to about midfield. Still can't get into the opponent's territory, though.
Yeah. Paly's just been running. And let's see if that continues here.
So Paly's ball.
Looks like it will, as they've got 10 blockers.
Paly's ball in their own 5, as they're going to hand it off to Chang, and Chang's going to get the first down for the Vikings.
Chang just refuses to go down every time he gets the ball. I like his relentless running style and how he just wants to get in that end zone, even though they're not close to the end zone right now. He just keeps on fighting.
Yeah, we see those big plays, but the real stars are those guys getting a couple extra yards on every play. That's what makes the difference.
A lot of credit to the guys up front. The offensive line has done a great job this season to open up holes for Paul Jackson III and Aiden Chang.
As you're right, it's going to be 1st and 10. Sorry, as Chang once again got the first there. As they're going to hand it off to Jackson for his first time all day. And Jackson swallowed by the Falcons defense as he's tackled down by Ryan Beelan, the defensive lineman. And Chang looks better than Jackson so far today.
Definitely. And if you're talking about Saratoga, Beelan is 2nd defensive stop in the backfield. Doing a great job.
Yeah.
Beelan, the senior. Beelan, 6'1", 190 pounds, having an outstanding year for the Saratoga Falcons, as it's going to be 2nd and 7, as it's going to be Kristen at quarterback, as 2nd and 7. What do you expect here, Zach?
Well, I mean, they've just been running, but at some point, if you keep it up, then Saratoga is just going to charge the line, and that'll be the end of that, and they need to start passing.
And Paly gets a delay of game on a play, so that's a 5-yard penalty. It will be 2nd and 12 for the Vikings now. That's not what you want.
Nope, especially a running team cannot afford penalties.
So 2nd and 13, as I said, for the Vikings with 3 minutes, 37 seconds left in this first quarter. 2nd down. Now you got to throw the ball as Christ in the gun or under center. Christ is going to hand it off. Rolls out. Chris going to throw this one. Caught by Thea, or as he drops it. Almost gets it, and it's dropped by Thea.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a perfect throw by Chris. It's just great coverage by Harrison Fong just to knock that ball out at the end of that play. So Thea couldn't hold on.
Yeah, it's important here that they get their passing game.
And it's 3rd and 13 for the Vikings. They're gonna throw it probably and try to get the first down, as they do not want
I think they have to throw it here.
to punt again. Chris,
And drop
play
back.
action to Jackson. Chris looking for Thai's favorite target. Oh, and it is just swatted away by number 3, Harrison Fong. And man, Harrison Fong is working Paul Thea like a dinosaur.
He saw everyone in the stadium knew that was his intent. His eyes were on him, and got in there and broke it up.
Man, what a play. As you should say, Oliver, Harrison Fong has been involved today.
Yeah, both on the offensive end and defensive end. Excuse me.
And Paly will have to punt again, as we can have to see if someone can get a drive
So Jimenez coming out again for the Vikings. As man, we may see a defensive game, and I love these. Hopefully it'll be 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, and go to overtime at 0-0. You haven't seen one of those in years, really.
Yeah, it's just like a well-pitched game in baseball. Both teams on defense doing a great job.
Yeah, and you're right, as Jimenez comes out once again for the Vikings. See what he can do here, but get past the 50. That would be tight, as Jimenez gets it past the 50, gets it to the 40, keeps rolling, and goes out at around the 33. What a punt by the big fella.
And what a bounce, too. That ball hit ground at the 50 and kept on rolling to the 35.
Yeah, when punters want to pin them back and they're just a nice short punt, they usually put backspin on the ball so the ball spins the other way closer to their own territory. But there, you want to get the ball as far down so they have the longest field to work with.
So in his transition with 3 minutes left, like reminded, Astros in the World Series leading 5-1 over the Dodgers. Look to lead 2-1 in that game 3 of the World Series. Magic crushed the Spurs as they're having a good season. Only undefeated team now in the NBA are the Clippers, as we got a flag on the field.
Looks like false start there.
And they call it as an offside on Paly, so it's going to be 1st and 5 for the Falcons. 3 minutes left still.
When you see movement on the line, it's really hard to tell who goes first. So great call.
1st and 5 as they hand it off. And they're going to get about 4 yards as they hand it off to Nick Burry.
Yeah, just plowed forward for a gain of 3, tackled by Wes Walters.
Wes Walters, the leader of this defense, the middle linebacker, has led this defense for 2 years now. As just a junior, next year be a senior as number 12, Roosevelt, getting it tackled for a loss by number 88, Luis Passarello, the sophomore, with his 2nd sack of the game, as Rosatiano sacked again.
I have
3rd down.
no idea what the intent was of that play. He was faking a throw to the sideline, and some miscommunication there.
They call that a little QB draw, a little pump fake, and then he runs. But great job by Passarello.
So it's 3rd and 5 for the Vikings. As man, I think these fans are realizing they care in this game, and this game's gonna be good. And so far, it looks like this game could be going down to the wire. So stay with us, folks, as this is gonna be a good one. Nicholas Rostiano, the quarterback, in the gun. 3rd and 5 on the 37 is the Saratoga Falcons. See if they can get anything going. They do not want another 3 and out.
And if you're wondering for the hold-up, there was a little disruption from the crowd.
Rostiano gets sacked again, and I believe it's by Luis Passarello again. That's his 3rd sack in a row. The sophomore gets him good as it's 4th and 5 for the Falcons.
Yep, no one can get anything going right now. Both teams have tried their best look, and nothing has worked.
What a game Passarello has played. He's just a sophomore. He's playing the game of his life, and these fans are getting loud here as, once again, a punt coming on as number 10, Quentin Dozier, punts this ball. And that's a shank, as it's only around a 10-yard punt. Paly's going to have this ball in field position.
Yeah,
You have to give him credit right there. That snap bounced in front of him, and he fielded it on a short hop.
Yeah, it was not a good snap there, as he really did nothing to do. But Paly's going to have good field position. They have their chance to take the lead and get these fans what they want here on homecoming. As once again, it's homecoming night here in Palo Alto. It's Friday night under the lights.
Yeah, Paly almost already in field goal range.
No, high school field goal range is usually like within the 20-yard line.
Chris, play action. The wide open, but he looks for Henley. Touchdown, Vikings! Junicio Henley, the sophomore, gets the touchdown. 6-0, Vikes lead. Henley, the sophomore, easy, and what a play, what a dime.
Perfect throw by Jackson Chris. Puts it right in the breadbasket, right where Junicio Henley can get it and the defender can't. Perfect throw.
He had beaten his man by a step or two, and Chris saw that and put it right in his receiver's arm.
That's another play action, and that was a dime here to try the extra point. Tyler Foe gets up. It's good. 7-0. Vikes lead. First time Vikes lead all year besides the Homestead game.
Yeah, we haven't seen this often. The home crowd is not used to Paly jumping out in the early lead, but they're hyped for this.
Once again, that big play, and they had one, and now I wouldn't be surprised if the defense is hyped up now. They can get a stop, and they'll keep on going.
And those play actions have been working as they just do a play action to Paul Jackson III and throws a dime
And I think
to the sophomore.
what Zach was saying pregame about how someone needed to step up and play that dynamic role that Jameer Shepard was playing. I think Junicio Henley just did that there.
Yeah, and the two sophomores, Henley and Shepard, have been leading his team all year, and Henley caught that. And as I said when I was calling that play, I was like, thigh wide open. Paul D was wide open, but Jackson Chris saw Henley wide open and just got him. What a dime.
Yeah, I think it was just a split-second decision who to throw to. I think he saw Henley first, so decided to throw him. But, yeah, Paul Thye was wide open on that play also.
1st and 13 is the kick. This is going to come for the Vikings. Fogue does not do the kicks for the Vikings. He only does the extra points. Kick is going to be Walker Rosenflow, at the junior, 6 foot. Is going to do the kick.
Yeah, and they've broken it open, but it's still a field position battle. Kick is going to be important here.
So back for the Saratoga. Falcons looking to respond after the Vikings touchdown. Looks to be number 28, William Turpin. As Turpin's going to return this one. Turpin does a lateral to Harrison Fong, and Fong is going to go. Fong's at the 30, Fong's at the 40, Fong's at the 50. Fong pushed out at the 40 by the kicker, Walker Rosenthal. What a play by the Saratoga Falcons.
Yeah, it's usually a play you see when teams are down and there's 0 seconds left on the play clock, just little laterals, but it got
play by the quarterback, Nicholas Rostiano, the scramble to throw, looking like a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, you can see right here, escapes the pocket, rolls out to his left and finds wide open receiver who just...
What a play.
And yeah, a good job not crossing the line of scrimmage there. If you cross the line of scrimmage, you cannot throw it.
So Rostiano Hands it off to Turpin, and Turpin swallowed by number 16 on the Vikes, Bryant Jefferson, the center on the basketball team. Hits him hard.
On that pass play, he knew where the line of scrimmage was. He had great play awareness, and he made that play perfectly.
So 2nd and 10 for the Saratoga Falcons after the great play by Nicholas Rodiano, as Rostiano's going to run it. Rostiano's going to run it. And it looks to be that he stepped out of bounds, pushed out by Paul Jackson III, or was he pushed out by Paul Thee? He's pushed out, sorry, not Paul Thee, number 71 on the Vikings, David Hickey. So it's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Falcons. The defense for Paly getting hyped as it's loud in here. Rostiano in the gun. He's going to throw it. Touchdown. Touchdown Falcons! What a play as it's number 80, Charles Debling.
Caught it.
And what a play, as Oliver said, they needed a big play to get back in this game, and they did. Rostiano, what a drive by him. Touchdown Falcons.
And it's a great job by Debling getting that toe tap in the end zone. It's a really hard thing to do.
Yeah. It just found that throwing lane, and Rostiano got it right there. Nice
Rostiano looking good. He's looking like a top-notch player right here. It's an amazing drive. What a play for him on that 3rd down. And what a play as finding the junior Charles Debling as the extra point is up and good.
And the kick is good.
And don't forget that whole drive started with great field position.
On the kick, yeah.
Yeah, from the great kick return by Paul Fay.
It's a 9-play drive.
Or Harrison Fong, you say. If it wasn't for Harrison Fong, that may have not happened. That was an amazing kick return, a great awareness by number 28, I believe, on the play. It was William Turpin that ladded it over to Fong.
And going back to Rostiano, kind of reminded me of Carson Wentz on Monday Night Football, escaping the pocket, using his legs, using his arms, just making plays.
He is a Carson Wentz with the arm, and I think he's almost a bit faster than Carson Wentz, almost a bit mobile, like almost better than Carson Wentz. I don't know if there's a comparison like that.
He doesn't have what Carson Wentz can do throwing the ball, but he can run it and give you a second look. That is important.
And that find, though, the way to find Harrison Fong like that, or sorry, I think it was Alex Metz, the way to find that was great. That's great awareness down the field.
It's a great job by Metz, too. He saw his quarterback was in trouble, made a cut to the left, and just got open for a struggling quarterback who was in the pocket about to get sacked.
And now we'll see the kickoff in a tied game.
So the loud Vikings fans here to get the kick. It's another weird kick. He's trying to get a fumble. It's the same player that gets it. It's Brian Jefferson, and he gets sacked, or not sacked, swatted basically, and just tackled by Jack Bead, the senior. And that's another weird kick, trying to get Jefferson to fumble by number 10 on the Falcons, Quint Dozier.
I really don't understand these 2 kickoffs by Saratoga.
And it gives Paly good field position.
Yeah, because as Zach was saying, it is a field position battle with a low-scoring game like this. I think you gotta pin them back as far as you can.
Yeah, I think they're thinking it's going to be a defensive battle. They can prevent a big kick return.
So Chris hands this ball off to Wes Walters. Walters will get about 5 for a second down. And maybe they were watching some of the film for Paly, saw Junacio Henley, because last week he returned a kick for about 50. Maybe they just don't want to give it to him.
Yeah, that's, now that you say that, that's actually smart by Saratoga, because Junacio Henley is a very good kick returner for Paly. One of the best all-around players for this Paly team.
So it's 2nd and 6 for the Vikes. 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second quarter as the Vikes back on offense. The 1-6 Vikes looking for something, anything, to win a game. As both teams fighting hard in this game. It's Christ hands this ball off to Jackson, and Jackson III gets his first down. His first down of the day.
I don't believe they're giving them the first down. It's
really, they're not.
Third and one.
Yeah, and you're right. It's going to be 3rd and inches for the Vikings, so they don't give it to Jackson. And they take him out and put Wes Walters in.
100% run the ball here if I'm Paly.
To Walters, your fullback?
Yeah, I think they're going to go to Walters here.
They also
there
have Chang. They got Chang and Walters in the backfield. Henley and Thigh, their main wide receivers. inside, and they give it to Chang, and Chang gets the first. Great play by the Vikes.
Yeah, he initially got stopped by Jake Bine in the backfield, but just slipped forward for an extra 2 yards or so to get that first down for Paly.
And this offense by the Vikes lately has looked really good. Chris looking good. Everyone looking good on the Vikings. Wes Walters looking good. Chang looking good. Henley obviously looking good. Dye looking good. And really the Saratoga also offense, as we mentioned before, looking good. And their defense is staying in it.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen Paly play all year, for sure. The whole team looking good.
There was a personal foul, I believe.
Yeah, they moved that back like crazy. All that work for nothing. This was a personal foul on the Vikes, man.
I believe there
will be first down.
Yeah, it is a first down, but it's just they're going to get it pushed back a little bit.
So it's a first down, but they got pushed back, and that's a break for the Falcons. As we got the rookie chants going on from the Vikings student section as it's 1st and 10, 9 minutes left till halftime. Jackson Christ, as I almost said Keller Christ, in the under center, and Jackson almost stopped, but still on his feet. Turpin misses, finally brought down for just the loss, or maybe no gain, brought down by the Falcons.
And
Loss of one.
And he took the risk there, going back and seeing if he could find a gap, but nothing popped up, and ended up with a loss of one.
So 2nd and 11. It's going to be Vikings ball as Thee on the right, lining up with Henley. No one on the left lining up for the Vikings. 2 guys in the backfield, Jackson and Walters. They're going to give it play action, pressure coming. And the pressure comes, but Jackson Chris stays on his feet and finds a wide open Paul Thee. Paul Thee's gonna go. Finally tackled by Turpin, and Paul Thee wide open. What a play by Jackson Chris as the pressure came by number 54, Jack Bede. And look at this, he finds him wide open.
Yeah, it's
Look at that.
exact replica of Castellanos
Yeah,
play.
Rostiano's play.
Rostiano's play, excuse me.
Christ tells Sebastiano, hey, I can do that too.
Interesting. So it's going to be 8 minutes 30 left, first down. And wow, what a play by Chris, as this is a totally new Jackson Chris.
Yeah, I
that we
think
saw
they're gonna
last
run the
week.
ball here. Yep.
And we got some movement, I believe, as they would have handed it off to Jackson to third.
No, looks like
Yeah, false start. No.
I think Paly called timeout. Oh, never mind, false start.
Yes, you're right. And man, on that play, the pressure really came by Jake Bede. Jake Bede was very close to sacking.
Yeah, he had his.
As it was an offsides by the Falcons.
He had Chris' leg wrapped up, and Chris just threw it to Paul Thee, and it worked out. So, I think great play by Chris again.
Or it was a false start, so it's going to be 1st and 15 for the Vikes.
Yeah, still not quite in field goal range for high school football, but this is most likely 4-down territory.
And they were lucky Turpin, the safety, was back there, or else that would have been a touchdown by Paul Thies. Another play action, Chris, but Chris this time going to run it for the first time all day. Chris is going to get it first. Chris is going to keep going. Chris is still on his feet. Finally tackled by Bede. First and Vikes.
Let's take a look at that again. He pressure on the play, but he showed resilience.
Look at those wheels as Bede brings him down.
I believe it's being called back for holding on the offense.
And that is frustrating. If you're a Vikings fan, like every single person here in this building, you need to be mad because all that work goes into nothing because of holding. Man.
Yeah, that's NFL level kind of stuff by Jackson Chris. It's just sad that they have to call it back for holding.
And Jackson Chris showing no emotion as he's a straight-faced guy. He's not exactly the emotion type guy, and that's a good thing as he'll stay focused and always try to get this done.
Jackson needs to learn to slide there. He was hit hard at the end.
He could have been hurt here. He's already been hurt this year, as we saw on September 15th when we called the Aragon game. You were there, Zach and Oliver, you were there. And he got injured that game. Osvazada had to play. First and 34 as they hand it off to Henley on an end round. Henley's going to go and not get much. She'll get about 3. It's going to be second and 31. 7 minutes 40 left in the second quarter before the half.
And second and 31 isn't exactly second and manageable. So I think they're going to, get a medium distance pass and then another one to try to get this first down.
I mean, if you take a deep shot here, even if it's picked off, it's equivalent to a punt, right?
Yeah,
here
that
you
is
just
true.
have to, you take 2 shots downfield and then punt the ball.
So it's second and 32 for the Vikings, and that's second and major long. And this is awesome because this is the first Paly game in the 2 others that's been close. Aragon was a blowout, and Milpitas a blowout. This is awesome as Chang, been quiet lately, doesn't get much there. It's going to be third and 30 for the Vikes.
Yeah, it surprised me with that run there. I would have thought they would pass it, but maybe now they can take that deep shot that Zach was talking about.
And wow, number 55 on the Vikes, my man Messi Mahe is talking smack right now to the Saratoga Falcons, and almost 3 players on the Vikings went and hold Messi Mahe back and kind of just brought him away from talking smack there, as there must have been some contact as the ref now talking to the coaches.
Yeah, Mahe showing his emotions. Obviously wasn't happy with something there. Not sure what, though.
As he's getting talked to by 2 players on the Vikes, getting almost pushed away. I was not sure what happened there. If it was verbal, or if it was physical, but whatever happened, Messi Mahe got set off on that. So it'll be third and 29. You just hand it off, kind of not really care. And they had an amazing drive here. They put together a great drive and just make it all kind of go away and punt the ball, or do you throw the ball deep and just try to get something done? As the officials, it's going to be a timeout on Vikes.
Yeah. And Paly coach Danny Sullivan is not happy here. He's standing at center field. He'll walk off. But
And why is that? Is he talking to the refs?
Yeah, I think he's trying to settle the disagreement here with Messi Mahe.
So Sullivan back on his own bench. It's third and 29. So do you see a long pass, or do you see a handoff here, Oliver?
I honestly think they're going to hand it off, but I won't be surprised at all that they would throw it. So either
Like the
option.
fly play. Third and 29 on the 49. And this is very backwards possession, as we've seen so much this possession. So many flags, so much everything.
2 receivers on the
Underside of
left
Chris
side.
gives it to Chang. Chang's going to run it. He has a hole. Chang's going to get the first. Oh, no, he doesn't. I saw the wrong hole. He gets about 12. Still a great play, but they may be in range, or will they go for it? So that's a great play by Chang, bringing them into it.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th and 10, but going from 3rd and 35, that's very manageable. It looks like they are going to be going for
Yeah, Zach.
on this play.
Zach, you were saying earlier how this is 4-down territory just outside field goal range. So, yeah, I think they will go for it.
Yeah, as obviously it's a 47-yard field goal, not at all the range for Tyler Fogg, the junior kicker, as Jackson Chris under center. There's a play action to Chang, and he's gonna get it! No, it's dropped by Seattle Millar. The tight end just drops it, and he had a first down in his hands, but poof, he dropped it, and man, he was so close.
Yeah, he bobbled it initially. Seemed like he had possession of it off the bobble, and then I think the ground forced it out there.
He was so close.
Millar, you could see he bobbled it twice, and it finally fell to the ground. His hands were on his head. He wanted that play, and now it'll be a Saratoga ball.
And I thought he had it. My reaction, but I was like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I thought he did too.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 as Rostiano is going to throw it to number 80, Charles Depling, who got the touchdown. And he's going to be tackled by number 16 on the Vikings, Bryant Jefferson, who's been very involved today, especially on special teams.
Yeah, both these teams have been running on first down. So they run a little play action screen to the left, and great stop by Bryant Jefferson.
So Debling gets 8 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 2 for the Falcons. As it's loud here. It's going to be 2nd and 2, 5 minutes left. It's going to be Rostiano in the gun. Rostiano's going to hand it off to Wang, and Wang stopped by number 10, Wes Walters, and he's thrown down.
I see where the spot is, but I believe he just got the first down on that play.
Really? Is it forward possession? We'll see how they mark it. I don't think they marked it. Or you're right. Looks like they're moving the chains. First down, Falcons. So first down on the 38 is Rostiano carrying his team. So maybe they can have the lead at the half.
Rostiano has impressed me with his arm and his feet. So I think they can just pass it, run, pass, run, use that tempo to get down the field and take the lead.
As the 0-7 Falcons are going to throw it to Fong. Fong gets the first. Dancing, and he gets his feet in bounds. We'll see how they call it as we see a replay, see if his feet were in. But Fong, man, he can play. He may have got it.
They call it
incomplete.
Call it incomplete, but in my opinion, he got a foot down.
And there's no reviewing here unless the ref came up here and looked at our replay system, when I don't think he'll take the time to do.
Yeah, I can't do that.
So 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in the half.
There's 4.5 minutes left. Saratoga will get the ball to start the second half, so a score would be huge here to get momentum.
Second 11 is Rostiano. The blitz coming. As the blitz comes, he gets it off, man, to Wang. And Wang's going to lose some yards, but lucky he didn't get smeared there as the blitz came. And he had to throw it to J.J. Wang.
Yeah, just a little desperation throw. But the whole Paly line and the linebackers just coming on a blitz and not much to do.
Yeah, they were not ready for that blitz, and it worked to perfection.
So it's third down and 12 for the Saratoga Falcons. Third and 12 as a little bit of an audible going on here as a play call. What do you expect? Throw, run, play action? I expect play action. Not the play-by-play. What do I know? What do you say, Cullen?
I 100% agree. Play action.
And I'm right. Wow, the play-by-play actually can do something. Rostiano hit by Brian Jefferson. Bang! And wow, the blitz came by Jefferson, as you see here, and he hit him.
Yeah, that was the worst possible drive sequence for Saratoga. Not only are they not scoring, but they're giving the ball back to Paly with plenty of time left to get a score.
Plenty of time for Jackson Chris to do damage and maybe get him a lead. So coming in is going to be number 10, Quinn Dozer, as he walks over here like there's a little audible going on. He calls a player, like he must have counted, and then we saw there was 10 players. Very smart move by the punter to count and see that there's only 10. He called the player on for a player to join him.
And Dozier's last punt wasn't exactly great, so see if they can pin Paly back.
And this one's pretty good, as it's not exactly that good. As it's kicked out about it like the 47. Dozier's expression shows it all. So the 49-yard line for Jackson Chris to do damage in the Paly and to show how bad these teams have had a season. Saratoga, 815th in California. Paly, though, 498th, even though Paly's 1-5, Saratoga 0-7. So far, I guess Saratoga kind of pulling an upset, tying this game. They look pretty good as Nick Rostiano playing a game of his life.
Yeah, really impressed us so far. But for this Paly offense, this last drive, they were moving the ball pretty well. It's just penalties were pushing them back.
So the Vikings, Chris does a play action. See if he gets sacked as the pressure comes. And yes, he does. The sack comes. Sacked by number 72, I believe. Ryan Beelan. That's the Falcons with a nice play on the defense.
We have 3.5 minutes left in the half as Paly looks to get one last chance before the clock runs out.
Yeah, I think this is a very important drive for Paly, actually, because like you said, Saratoga gets the ball after half. They could go up. But if Paly goes up by a score here.
As Kyle Mostafazadeh checks in, Mostafazadeh hands it off to Che, and that's the second time Paly's changed the quarterback today. As a rare change for Paly, is Chris playing a good game, maybe just to hand it off, as that maybe Mostafazadeh may be going out.
Yeah, we've seen a story of two completely different offenses here. Paly has mostly used the run and with the occasional pass and that one great play in the first quarter. Saratoga has been executing the pass well, but they have not been able to string together a few first downs to score.
Is this a technical change why Masavazada's in, do you think? And as Masavazada hands it off to Chang, Chang gets a nice gain, and he may get a first. I believe he does. Or it will be 4th and inches, where I believe the Vikes should go for it, don't you think? If it,
yeah, I think they should.
4th and 3.
I mean, I would go for it here. I think they need to get in the end zone, so I would go for it.
They call a timeout with 1:59 left, as it's a beautiful night, Friday night here in Palo Alto.
This is a big series of plays coming up. The momentum as you run into that locker room at halftime is huge. If
and
you score before the half, you come out in the second ready to play.
And it looks like Chris is going to be going back in for the Vikings. Is that the right call?
Yeah, he's been playing great this game, along with the quarterback on the other end, Rostiano, for the Saratoga Falcons. But, yeah, I think it's the right call. I think they need a touchdown here. I think Chris is the guy to do it.
As on our left here, we see the floats of all 4 grades, as the float is going to come out, and they're going to be doing a float show at halftime because it's homecoming. It's really cool. It's a homecoming tradition. As the seniors make one, the juniors make one, the freshmen make one, and the sophomores make a float.
Yeah, students have been working really hard on these floats, and they've turned out really great.
There's a NASCAR one, there's a duck one, there's a Nickelodeon one, and the last one looks to be an Monopoly. Monopoly. My favorite one's probably the sophomore 2020 class. The NASCAR one is really cool.
And it looks like a handoff
and
here.
And man, we got Jackson on his feet, and Jackson's going to go for a first down on the 4th and 3. What a tough play call. Sorry, what a roll the dice play call. And that works. It's a first down, Vikes.
Yeah, maybe a risky play call, but it was a good one by Danny Sullivan. Just plug it up the middle, what they've been doing all game, and it's been working for the most part. And so 4th and 3, why not just go back to what you've been doing all game?
And it was like 3rd and 20, I believe, and they handed off 4 times straight, and they got the first with Jackson and Chang. That's Jackson's first big play of the game. 1st and 10, Masavazade checking in, gives it to Walters. Walters, the fullback, battling for it, gets about 4-3.
Yeah, we've seen pretty conservative play calls from Sullivan. A lot of fullback runs up the gut, but Palio line's bigger, and they've been working.
And with
Chang checks in for Walters.
With approaching a minute here, I think they need to
hurry it up.
Yeah, I think they need to hurry up, stop running these plays up the middle. I think they need to pass the ball.
A minute left, and it looks like Paly or Saratoga is going to be taking a timeout. The official stopped it, but then they're back. It's interesting when they did that. It's 1:02 left in the half. Is it 7-7? Great game here. So I'm excited to be calling this one. As Masavazade hands it to Henley on the end around. Henley's going to go. Henley's still on his feet. Gets the first. Henley goes out. And what a play by Janacio Henley. Almost gets a second touchdown of the day. First down, Vikes.
Just shows you Janacio Henley wanted that play more than these Saratoga defenders. He used all the heart he got, the effort, just beautiful effort by Janacio Henley.
So the sophomore gets the first down with 47 seconds left till halftime. What a play by just the sophomore.
Henley had that big catch in the first for the touchdown, and now that run. We asked who their dynamic player would be without Jameer Shepard, and he's looked like it so far.
And Masavazade hands it off to Jackson. Jackson gets in for his touchdown. And that feels good for Paul Jackson. He hasn't got a touchdown in a while. And touchdown, Vikings! Yep, 14-7, Vikings lead. Touchdown, Paul Jackson.
Yeah, they're at the 2-yard line or something like that, and they run the ball, and that's good play call. Run to the outside.
That must feel Zach. That must feel good, Zach, to get a touchdown before halftime. We were saying that could lead the momentum as the extra point by Fogue's up and good, as it's 14-7, Vikings lead.
Yep, only problem with that drive, the Falcons still have 43 seconds to score and 3 timeouts.
That is true.
As maybe, would you kick it out of the end zone, or do you go one of those squib kicks or high kicks?
I think you do a standard kickoff.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Saratoga is just gonna run the clock out. I don't think they're gonna try to tie it up, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they could take 3Ds. But, man, they got a quarterback for themselves in Nicholas Rostiano. But on the other side, Jackson Christ having a day for himself. But Kyle Mosavizade didn't get the touchdown, but was the man who handed it off to Jackson. And Mosavizade hasn't thrown the ball yet, but he's been in it every single play Mosavizade's been in it, they handed the ball off. That could be a sign Saratoga's noticing. So, like, if you see Mosavizade in, bring a heavy blitz, because they know they're running it.
Yeah.
I don't think Sullivan fully trusts Mosavizade to throw the ball, but he wants to give a different look.
So 43 seconds left in the second quarter. It's going to be the kick for number 18, Walker Rosenthal, who last kick we saw the little lateral over to number 3, Harrison Fong. We'll see if we see that again as Rosenthal puts this one up, and it's a squib, and it's to one of the mans with the bad hands in the middle. Number 62, I believe. That's going to be
52.
52, Devin Mather, the O-lineman, the junior. So it's going to be the Saratoga Togas, or the Saratoga Falcons that are going to get the ball.
Yeah, let's see if the Falcons go for it, try and put a drive together. It looks like they will. They're not running the clock out. I think they want to score right now just as much as the next guy.
Might see a play action.
So it's going to be Nicholas Rostiano. He's going to throw it, I believe. Yes, he will, to Harrison Fong. And Harrison Fong is going to go out with 36 seconds left. It's going to be second down for the Falcons.
And I was wrong. They are not running the clock out, as Zach just said. They're going to try to tie this ball game up with 36 seconds left.
Just a 5-yard pass to the outside.
And they go out of bounds, and they still got all 3, I believe. So Rostiano, the man of the hour, throws it over to number 3, Harrison Fong, who's, man, what a catch. The senior is playing the game of his life.
Yeah, it looked like the exact same play. 3 receivers on the outside running streaks, and Fong just running a little out, and it's working. So
and that's around 100 yards already for Fong, as he's playing the game.
Paly has shown they're willing to give up those simple outs to the outside here as the second half nears to first half nears to a close. But
all the seniors on the Viking students are just meeting up. It looks to be they're all wearing the same shirt. The 18 Vikings are having like a rave in the middle of the court.
At Spirit Week, each grade, in addition to the floats, they do their own cheers. We might.
And it's awesome that they have the Spirit Week, and then they go and have the homecoming football game, and then the homecoming dance tomorrow night. It's an awesome tradition that carries on at every single high school in the country, basically.
Like I was saying before, Paly's fine giving up those outs to the corner, but there's plenty of time left. They need to step it up and make a stop.
Yeah, because if they keep on running those outs, time keeps on being stopped. They're going to just piece their way down the field and score a touchdown. So you're right. Paly needs to get an end to that route.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Saratoga Falcons on a 42-yard line, but it's their own 42-yard line.
1st and 10.
So the star, Nicholas Rostiano, in the gun. Rostiano. See what he does here.
Looks like a false start.
And it looks like a false start. Not what the Falcons want, man. And if you're a Falcons fan, you're bummed because you have a chance. You want to tie this game up. You want your first win of the season, but false start. That's frustrating.
Yeah, pushing back 5 yards. Not what you want there if you're a Falcons fan.
But on the Vikings' hand here in the home court, that's good. As you don't want to give up points before this halftime. You want to be up. You want to have some swagger before the halftime. As Rostiano is going to throw it. Rostiano throws it looking for Fong, but it's just out. And, man, you can tell Rostiano's favorite target is Fong because he's looked for him a lot tonight.
Yeah, Fong has been the guy that Rostiano has been looking for every single play.
Yeah, on that play, he threw that out, but the two receivers on the left, they were streaking down the field doing little post routes. He
Second
could
and
look
10.
for the big play with them.
25 seconds left as Rostiano does a pump fake. And look at this. He has him wide open. But Rostiano sacked by Luis Passarella for the 4th time all night. The sophomore having a day for himself. And what a night Passarella has had.
You don't usually see 4 sacks in the first half. Even in the whole game, you don't see 4 sacks. What a great game by Louis Passarello.
So 16 seconds left as they use a timeout. The Togas. That's a nickname we can call them for Saratoga.
Togas.
3rd and 16.
Look like a timeout.
16 seconds left.
Passarello just has it all figured out right now, and sometimes you've got your man owned. I wouldn't be surprised if their O-line switches something up.
And Passarella still has 2 more years of his junior and senior year coming ahead in his future, as he'll be a good player in the Palo Alto future. And not to mention, this Palo Alto JV team is undefeated, so that shows the potential of this Palo Alto team in the next few years, because this JV team is really doing well. So maybe, just maybe, Paly can do what they did in 2011 and win another championship, as they did in 2011 with Devontae Adams, NFL receiver at the Green Bay Packers over here, and quarterback Bono. Good players there back in the day.
Yeah, great team in 2011.
So 16 seconds left. Rostiano's going to hand it off to Wang, and that should be the halftime, as I don't think the Saratoga Falcons are going to try anymore. So that will be the half. Looks to be as time ticks down, and the players will head to the locker room. So halftime here. And what a first half it's been, Zach. Thoughts before we go to break?
Well, Paly has the momentum going into the half. Let's see if in the second half we'll see if they can build on that, or will Saratoga come out firing? Let's see in the second half.
And you all have thoughts before we go to the break?
Yeah, well, Saratoga gets the ball, so, I mean, Paly just needs to make a stop on D.
And the score at the end of the first half is the 0-7 Saratoga Falcons 7 and the 1-6 Palo Alto Vikings 14. Stay tuned. We will have our first half analysis along with the second half right after this, right after the break on MC Sports.
Right now. Hello and welcome inside the broadcast booth. I'm Fair Kacher. Alongside my partners are Casey Hornback and Sanu.
And we're back here. This should be a great second half, and I'm excited for it. As I call play-by-play in the first half, I'll be moving to color. Now joining me there and say, and this should be an awesome game, as it's 14-7 Vikes lead.
Yes, it should, and I think Palo Alto, they really need, they've been playing well, but their offense still needs to step up. Yes, they have scored 14 points, but they have had some missed opportunities. What do you think about that?
I think the penalties have hurt them. They got in around the 40 to 30 yard line, and they got 2 holding calls right back, and they went to the 40. So I think the holding calls hurt them there. They had a chance to score, but they just couldn't capitalize.
But I think the Vikings have played a great game, because it's just an improvement. One step at a time, it's an improvement, as they had a terrible game versus the Trojans last week. They lost 49-0 versus the Milpitas Trojans last week and absolutely got demolished, and they're coming back and they want to win a game. But on the other side of the ball, they got the Saratoga Falcons are looking for the first win of the year when they got a quarterback like they do right now with a quarterback Nicholas Rostiano. This team's going to be good, because in the first half, that play was amazing. And not to mention this beautiful halftime ceremony for homecoming. That was awesome, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And as many of you guys might know, Palo Alto's starting quarterback with the last name Chris, you might recognize that game. He is the Stanford quarterback who played last night against Oregon State.
And they barely won. That could have ended up very bad for Stanford.
Oh, yes, it could have. you know, when you're Keller Chris' brother, do you really, you know, see, look, hey, man, I got to catch it, step it up. I need to make it, you know, me to play, you know, college football like my brother, or do you just focus on high school now and worry about that later?
I think we addressed this last week. It's important for him to stay focused on high school. It goes step by step. First high school, then college, and then, of course, the big league in the NFL. You cannot worry about college. You have to take it one game, one quarter, one at a time.
Yeah, no need to worry on your brother now. It's all about you. You got to focus on yourself. Getting this Paly team where they should be, because right now they're not where they should be.
Yeah. And, you know, if Saratoga wants to get back in this game, what do they really have to do? Do they need to be more explosive on offense or stop Palo Alto?
I think it's got to be offense. They haven't got really great offensive power yet on the running game, and I think if they can utilize the running game and then also keep that balance in the throwing game, which they have had some success in, I think they can score a few more points for this team.
I think for the Falcons, they did a good job in the first half, but right now they need to use their offense. When they got a quarterback like you do with the man Nicholas Rostiano, use your feet. He has not ran enough. I say this a lot when I talk about Baker Mayfield, the Oklahoma quarterback. He does not use his feet enough. He needs to use his feet. Nicholas Rostiano, because he is speedy. Also, look for his man Harrison Fong, having a great game in the first half. Continue to use him, because right now Fong played a great first half.
Yeah, when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, we saw that last week against Milpitas where Bracey, he really got out of the pocket, harassed Palo Alto, and I agree
Bracey,
that is kind of a weakness of this Palo Alto defense, is that they cannot get outside and contain the quarterback when he's outside of the pocket.
And Tariq Bracey, the running back, on October 21st, so Saturday, he visited Notre Dame, and he has offers from them, so he's probably going to Notre Dame for college. That's how good Tariq Bracey is, who absolutely destroyed Paly last week.
As things are about to get underway here, you know, before we start, what do you guys think about, you know, this game? You know, what's your prediction for this game?
I think Paly pulls ahead, but the Saratoga Falcons play a great second half, and just they continue to improve, and they get a win next week. But this week is going to go into the Vikings, and they play a great game. I think that's what's going to happen. And Jackson Chris is going to play the second half of his life after playing the first half of his life.
And for those of you viewing, just a heads up, we are just about underway to start the second half with Palo Alto leading 14-7. And here we go, the third quarter kickoff. Saratoga will receive.
I don't think we've mentioned this crowd enough also to answer your question there. This homecoming crowd, I mean, everyone's so hyped up, everyone's so excited, and I think Palo Alto is really playing off of that right now. And that's why we see them playing so well. I mean, last week compared to this week,
and Walker Rosenthal is back deep.
Yeah, Rosenthal does the kickoffs for the Vikes, but doesn't do the field goals. Tyler Fogg does that. But Rosenthal had a tackle on a kickoff earlier. And as you see, returning this ball is Harrison Fong. And earlier in this game, he got a lateral on the kickoff. As you guys may have saw that in a truck, he got a lateral on the kickoff and went about 50. And you could see that here again on the kickoff.
I really like that play, what they did last time. It got them yardage, and most of all, it kind of broke that momentum Paly was having.
Yeah, I believe it was William Torpin that gave the
here we go. The third quarter is about to get underway.
So, as a little bit of a delay here, third quarter about to start, and man, I'm excited because two teams that are, let's just say, having not a very good year, having a bad year, are about to face each other, just so hungry for a win. Both teams want these wins as we're ready to get this show back on the road.
Walker Rosenthal is back, and that's a squib kick. Saratoga receives it, gets to the outside, but that is wrapped up. But he is wrapped up by Paul Thigh, the junior.
And Paul Thight's only a junior. He's going to be good next year because he's a leading reception
Yes, and you guys touched on this earlier too. You know, the JV team is 8-0. Do you see them? You know, do you see that progressing into a really good varsity team next year too?
I totally do. When you got sophomores, quarterbacks like Kevin Colin, and great players on the sophomore team, and you got some really good juniors like Wes Walters and Aiden Chang, they're going to be a good team. Paul Thea's Henley
throws, and that is broken up by number 2, Janiso Henley.
And Henley had the touchdown earlier on offense. That was a dime by Jackson Chris. He's playing a great game.
Yes, he plays both defense and offense with wide receiver and center back.
I wanted you guys to notice that little technique that he used. He didn't sag off the receivers as most cornerbacks tend to do. He stayed right with them and then used his height to knock that ball away. That's great cover skills there.
Is Henley coming in at 6'2", 6'1".
Nicholas Bastiano,
famous Harrison Fong.
He throws to number 28, William Turpin, as he breaks the tackle, and there he goes down the sideline inside Viking territory. First down, Saratoga.
What a play by Turpin, just getting loose there. It's just a little HB slip screen, as I do in Madden all the time. And look at that, as Turpin went all the way. That's a great play, and I love the play call on the Falcons' part.
Well, right away, one-on-one, he beat the linebacker, had the first step, and then he just took it off from there.
Yes, a great run there, as there is a run.
What a tackle there by Bryant Jefferson. Bryant Jefferson had a great tackle, but that time I do not agree with the call by the Falcons. They went from a great call to not the best call. I don't like the high little pitch there. I like more of a wide receiver screen, more a bowling pass, or you hand it off there. Not a fan of the play call right there.
Yeah, I think that pass was a little high for him. Rostiano didn't throw a good pass there. Otherwise, that was going to be a very effective play.
You're right. Too high.
And a little bit of a delay here for a measurement.
2nd and 9, it looks to be.
Rostiano, the 5'9" senior quarterback, drops back. He throws to number 8, Alec Hindman.
Well, back-to-back screen plays. I don't know what type of play calling that is. I guess to feed off of what you said earlier, that you can't do back-to-back screen plays. I would look to get this run game going. This run game is not going at all.
I was about to say that the Saratoga Falcons, you wonder why they're 0-7. They need a run game. Their run game has been terrible this year, as their running back J.J. Wynn needs to step up.
Josh back, and he's going to run. He's going to throw to, and there's wide open receiver number 28, William Turpin.
And that play leaves me in applause, because earlier I said Rostiano needs to use his feet, and he makes better plays when he's on a run. Earlier in the first half, he threw a dime when he threw it to Paul Thea, and man, that was a dime right there as he found William Turpin for the first down. What a play by Nick Rostiano. That's a Heisman type of play.
I guess you predicted it right on there before the first half started. That looked a very fluid play. Got out of the pocket and actually told the receiver to run left, and he found him. Good play there. And good leadership.
Rostiano drops back, and that's a screen play to Turpin. Turpin gets outside, but he is wrapped up.
And William Turpin coming in strong is a little bit of flag or challenge flag. A pink flag went up in the air there. But, man, that's 6 passes in a row for the Falcons.
Well, that time the screen worked because he broke the tackle earlier, and that's really how screen plays work.
More of a bullet.
You have to break a couple of tackles in order for them to work.
And now we have a 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
And they're moving right on along. They started this a little back, and now they're moving forward in their territory.
What a game this has been so far. And hopefully this game can go to the wires. A foul called on the Vikings. Man, that's not what the Vikings want.
You know, and unnecessary roughness penalties out of bounds. I mean, what do you really got to control those.
What are you thinking if you're the Vikes? Because right now, if Rostiano and his Falcons score, it's 14-14, and the Vikes are screwing it up. And, man, it's hard to root against Rostiano when you got a mobile player like that, because he's playing his heart out, and he wants it really bad.
Oh, yes. Rostiano in the shotgun.
If I'm Coach Sullivan, I'm pissed.
He takes the snap. He rolls, and he is going to throw. Almost intercepted.
And to further explain my point, what I was trying to say is that there were too many flags, and he really looks disappointed on the sideline. He kind of threw his headset down.
Paul Guy needs to get that. If you want to change the escape route, you want your ball, you want to change this, get that. Come on, Paul. Oh, get that pick.
Oh, yes, you do. But you got to remember, he did have that, that reception earlier in the game too.
He's played a great game.
Yeah, that's totally accurate.
2nd and 10, it looks to be.
We now have 10:40 left in the 3rd quarter here at Palo Alto Stadium. Rustiano looks, he throws deep, and that is tipped. No, incomplete.
And that's my man, Harrison Fong. He looked for Harrison Fong. He looked for him about 15 times in the first half. Harrison Fong was so close on that play. That was the right decision by Nicholas Rostiano. Just couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, and Harrison Fong's a really solid player. He's 6'1" and senior.
He had him on the slant. That was a good play. The corner backed off a little. And I think that's where Rostiano's capitalized, hit him earlier because he sagged off. He sagged off on the play, and because he could have gotten a touchdown earlier.
And man, Rostiano threw a dime there, but all Rostiano needed to do just to do 1 second earlier, because he had Harrison Fong in the end zone, and that would have been a 14-14 ball game. But Rostiano, I'm impressed. And who do you think is going to be coming on there? Do you think it's going to be Jackson Chris coming on, or is it going to be Cal Moss?
I think it's going to be Jackson Chris.
He played a great first.
Really solid.
Can I just say this game's been really choppy? There have been about 5 to 6 whistles already in this in the red zone for the Falcons.
Yeah, and you're right. As I completely agree, as it's been a time of possession here, as the Falcons taking their time, as Rostiano going to use his legs.
He looks and he scrambles.
Aiden Chang playing defense there. Rostiano getting hit hard. Bang, bang.
And that was a big hit there. Wow.
And that's Aiden Chang, the running back, hitting it. Bang. Look at that.
Boom.
Oh.
They could have called him on the late hit there.
Yeah, it was number 5 that came in late. Who's number 5 on the Vikings roster? It looks to be Dwayne Trahan.
We now have 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, with Palo Alto leading 14-7.
3rd and 13.
He drives back. He throws it, and that is intercepted.
Wow.
And he looks it, and he's going to run it back.
Seattle Millar.
Number
33, it looks to be Seattle Millar.
Seattle Millar, the 6'1" junior with the pick there.
And that's a great play by Millar. The linebacker read the play perfectly. Everything's whole thing Millar did on that play, he did correct, because Millar stayed in the game. And Paul Thye was so close to a pick on a play before. And look at that. It could be 14-14 if it wasn't for Seattle Millar right there. Great play.
Well, I have to give credit to the pressure that are coming from both sides. That's one of those picks where the pressure really made that pick happen. It was coming. Rostiano had to get rid of it, and then that was a pick.
Seattle Millar, great job.
Yes.
And so here comes Chris.
Jackson Chris, a very elite player, getting a lot of attention from college scouts.
I think the thing with Chris is that if he gets out of the pocket, he's very successful. I saw that in the first half. He was doing very good job of getting out of the pocket.
Chang
up the middle with a solid game.
And Paly's confident. They look confident. They look like they have the momentum, and they do right now as the fans are behind them. As they're up by 7, they look like they're the better team, and they look like they know they're going to win this game.
I mean, this is Aiden Chang, a runner who can get off as a very stable runner. He gets at least 5 yards every carry.
Jackson Chris is going to drop back. He looks, he throws, and that is caught, but he stays there. Number 11, Paul Thye.
What a play by Thye to just get up there, not get an incomplete pass. But to be honest, if I was Paul Thye, I would let that go.
What do you mean?
Because it should have been an incomplete pass there. He wouldn't have lost yards.
And it seems like he's down, too, after making that catch. And the whole team's out there looking at him, and it seems like he's down.
Yeah, so it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Vikings as someone down. But 9 minutes, 5 seconds left in the 3rd, and this should be a good game here. As we haven't called a good game in a while, as all of our football games this year have been a good game. It's at Sacred Heart versus Menlo Atherton that we called on October 6th, I believe. I didn't get to call that game. But all the Paly games we've called there, Milpitas, Aragon, they've all been blowouts. So maybe Paly can be close in this game and we can see a game go down to the wire because, man, that would be fun.
Yeah, and Palo Alto coming into this game 1-6, looking for a win today, as that is number 11, Paul, 5 injured player on the field as he gets up.
But he looks to be good as he's running. And, man, Paul Thigh.
What a game. It's always a nice sign when the player gets up. And then, of course, the opposing side takes a knee. That's great sportsmanship there by the Falcons.
You're right, and it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Vikes. Go Vikes been the slogan lately for all the fans. If they're desperate here at Spirit Week, all they want is just something to motivate them when they go through classes. It's Chang.
Number 22, Chang up the middle, and he gets the first down.
Out of bay by Aiden Chang, hustling, and I hate to say it, but PG3's spot may be reserved because the junior is playing good football.
That was a huge play. 3rd and 2. You never know what to do because you can always pass or run, and it's such a crucial down, 3rd down that is. And now that you get closer and closer to the territory of the Falcons, it's going to get easier with this running game playing very good.
Chris is going to be under center here. Whew, Henley.
And there he goes, Henley, off to the races. No, he is wrapped
Man,
up.
I love that call by Danny Sullivan's squad because what he did right there is he created a nice end round to Genesio Henley, and he gets the first. What a play call, what a play, and I love the momentum and confidence by the Vikes as it's 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and you know, we now have 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter, and yeah, just chopping away at it.
Number 75, I give him a lot of credit, and that was the whole O-line really. They took the lane, blocked on the side, and then gave him the running lane. You have to give credit to the O-line today.
So 2nd and 3 here for the Vikes.
Jackson Christ drops back. He looks, and he's gonna go long.
Henley!
Incomplete there.
And that reminds me of the first play of the game. On the first play of the game, what Jackson Chris did is they did a play action and they looked for Genesio Henley. It missed, but it's good intensity. I love the play by Danny Sullivan's squad. And right now, Paly is looking like a good team.
Yeah, Paly, you know, there's now 7:36 left in the 3rd quarter. Paly has a 3rd and 3 coming up.
So this should be a big play as it's 3rd and 3 here. What do you think is going to happen here?
I think they have to run it. They have not been able to stop the run game. As atrocious as it sounds, the run it. It's going to tire the defense out.
And they do.
Jackson Chris hands
They
it up,
got it!
and there he goes.
What a play right there. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Out of bounds near the 45-yard line.
Well, they used the I formation there, and the fullback was in there, and he blocked. He made the main block, so the fullback created the running lane. And he also number 11, I believe that is Paul Thie, and he came back as he was injured.
As Brady Badapour shaking up for the Saratoga Falcons, but man, that's a great play by the Vikings, and I like how they're playing right now. I think their intensity is good. If they played like this last week versus Milpitas, could have been a different story. They still would have lost because Milpitas has Tariq Bracey, Notre Dame bound. But still, it would have been a different story for sure if they could get this offense going like that.
But there was a holding, so yet another flag for Palo Alto.
And that is exactly the story of their season so far. That is just frustrating.
so this game is going to air on cable later.
If you're a Vikings fan, that is frustrating because you do something good. You do everything good. You're dominating. You get something done, and then boom, it just hits you. It's a holding. Like, all that work just goes for nothing. It's so frustrating watching the Vikings for years and then seeing them just get a hold like that. It kind of just describes how it's been after 2011.
I think really it's just mental errors. You know, sometimes you just get tempted to hold so that the play can be successful, and it's just mental errors. You have to get rid of those, really.
Oh, and man, that's sad to see. It's Harrison Fong shaking up on the play for the Falcons. It's Harrison Fong is their star on offense. It's Harrison Fong.
And he's not really even he's not only a star on offense, he's the core of the team. You know, he leads those guys out there, so that's a devastating loss for Saratoga.
I don't know what Nick Costiano's thinking right there on the sideline. He's probably devastated right now. Excuse me, Rostiano.
Yeah.
So now it's interesting. You're going to get the Paly offense is going to be way back at 3rd and long. What do you think they do? I think they should go for play action and try to.
3rd and long, exactly. You got those 3 guys back. It seems to be. You got Chang, Walters, and it looks to be Jackson, a 3rd back. I say you go play action. Look for your man Janacio Henley, as obviously they're missing Jameer Shepler out for undisclosed personal issues, but Henley's been stepping up for Jameer Shepard, the sophomore stepping up for the other sophomore. So it shows the depth of this Palo Alto Vikings team.
Well, this has been very choppy as there's another whistle.
Palo Alto now has 3 men in the backfield. Jackson Chris drops back. He looks, tons of pressure, and he dumps it off to
interesting play call, but I like
number 31, Paul Jackson the 3rd, as he breaks the tackle, and that is a gain of 9.
I believe they got that right there because that is a great play call, just dumping it off on a little screen play. Great play, and that's a 1st down for the Vikings. I love Danny Sullivan's intensity right now.
Yeah, that just shows you his true colors. He's willing to risk it for this team. First a deep play action, then a screen, and then a fullback run. What type of, that's a very risky play call, back to back to back.
So, wow, that is great play. These Vikings are executing lately.
And again,
man,
Jackson Chris is going to line up in the shotgun.
I've never seen Jackson Chris play this well in his life.
2 men in the backfield. He drops back. He looks, and he goes deep. It is for the touchdown. Number 11, Paul Thye. What a throw. What a catch. Touchdown, Palo Alto. Paul Thye, baby. The man.
Talk about pocket
what a job by Jackson Chris. And this Vikings team is playing the game of their life.
Talk about pocket toughness. Pressure coming from both sides. Stood in there. He almost got sacked and threw a beauty
that was
right
a great
down the
play.
sideline.
I love the intensity. I love that play call. That was a great play.
And now it's going to be the extra point. But
what a play by Thye. But it's going to be a 2-possession game. Wow.
He was also injured earlier at the PAT.
As the extra point is up and good.
But he was injured earlier and it seemed like he wouldn't come back, but then he came back with a touchdown and an end around. That's really good there. I'm happy for him.
And it's 21-7 Vikings leading. And man, wow, this game is a great game, full of everything in it, and I am enjoying it, and I'm loving it. It is a 2-point game, and I like to remind you guys, this game is sponsored by Pax's Pizza, but first things first.
Well, I mean, if you look at this game right now, Saratoga had the ball in the red zone. They couldn't capitalize. They couldn't get it into the end zone. And, I mean, you really get tired and very sad as a team because you're in the red zone. You're in scoring position, but you can't get it done. And then you go back and Paly scores a really long touchdown, and that always breaks your team because that's a 2-possession game.
And here we go.
Rosenthal preparing to kick off.
Rosenthal, here we go. He's going to kick it off. And there's now 6:42 left in the 3rd quarter with Palo Alto leading 21-7.
I just love the intensity of the Vikings in all seriousness. I mean, it is a great atmosphere tonight, and everything is just working well for the Vikings. And wow, that's just another squib. They don't want.
And there we go. And he gets to the outside, but no, Paly wraps it up. You know, it's not only the offensive defense that for Paly that has been playing great. The special teams has too, and I think that's one of the things that is undervalued.
Yeah,
at all levels of sports. You know, everyone says, "Oh, you're a special teams player." You're like, you have a big role. It contributes huge to the game.
Yeah, and you play football there and at flag football at Jordan. You know, I mean, special teams is key. Punt returns, kick returns, everything matters in football.
Well, I think
everything.
They're squibbing it off right now because of the first end-around play. They got 50 yards on that play, and that's a lot. And that end-around play will work every time, trust me. Now Rustiana has another
Rosendal's back. He looks, and that is an incomplete pass.
I think what needs to step up right now is the Saratoga Falcons offensive line. They are not blocking their running game at all, and that is a reason why Saratoga has not handed this ball off at all. They need a better offensive line if they want to contribute to this game, because right now, Saratoga is struggling to deliver.
I want to make an NFL reference here. You can make a reference to the Giants. They're throwing quick passes right away as Rustiano is getting under pressure.
And that's just
That
nothing.
is,
Every time he hangs on to the ball for more than 5 seconds, the pressure comes right to him. And that's
Unless he runs, and he needs to run the ball. I do not get why Rustiano is scared to run the ball. What is wrong? Because Rustiano, be confident. Just because your team is 0-7 does not mean you can't be confident. You need to run the ball, Rustiano, and show what you're made of.
Rustiano in the gun. He looks, he throws, and that is caught by number 10, Quinn Dozire. He has interesting positions. He is a kicker and a wide receiver. You don't
Kicker
see that
catcher.
very often.
And that is a 3 and out right there by. That is a 3 and out right there by the Falcons, what they want to get, because those are 3 play calls in a row that I disagree with. I need 3 play calls that are good right there, because you're just what you're doing is just setting yourself for a 3 and out. They need to run the ball, take a shot, and then do a slant, not 3 screen plays in a row, because that is embarrassing.
Yeah, I think that really goes back to the first play. The first play was an unsuccessful screen, and it went for like a loss of 1.
But that's
As there's the punt now inside the Palo Alto 20-yard line.
Great
a
punt by
very
the
good
wide
punt there.
receiver.
We now have 5:39 left in the third quarter here.
Can they put it away? Can Palo Alto step up, put this one away? It was something they have not been able to do at all. I mean, if you think about this team, they haven't really had this type of chance where they're up 21-7, kind of late, or excuse me, in the middle of the game.
And
Can
you're
they
right.
put it away? And it's all
As
up
they've
to
been a
Chris.
reference going around here in Palo Alto, that Palo Alto High always finds a way to lose. They need to change that reference and make it they find a way to win. Because right now, that is not what needs to happen. They need to put these ways of game and take care of business, get Los Altos this week, and then make an upset versus Wilcox, end this year strong, and maybe get into a playoffs, be an upset. Because Paly has chance. I can see Def in their team, and they're a good team.
And that's Chang. And I would look for really a play action pass to Dace like they did the first play and really the third play of that last drive. That play action play opens up so many things. It makes
And
the corners
Walters
sag back a
had
little.
that run.
So we got 5 minutes left in this third quarter. And right now, what's the main adjustment that you think Saratoga can make so they're back in this ball game there?
I think they have to focus on the defense first and then take it to offense. These corners have been giving up a lot of big plays. They're sagging off. They have to go closer.
Yes, now
agree.
that is Rosenthal that hands it off, and there he goes! Paul! All the way to the house! Number 31, Paul Jackson, the third with the touchdown.
7 yards.
Palo Alto leads 27-7 with the extra point pending.
What a play by Paul Jackson in third, but I cannot mention what a block by the offensive lineman staying in this game and putting in the work, because man, that is a great job by Paul Jackson, seeing his holes, and he missed that. That's 2 touchdowns today by PG3, and he is staying in this. What a day Paul Jackson to throw in his hand for the Vikes to stay in this game and give his team the win that they need.
And it is good. 28-7, late third quarter.
Speed kills. He ran, blasted right through that defense. There was so much that was going on, and he really did an excellent job. Ran right through that Saratoga defense.
And a consistent Tyler Folk puts it up for the 4th time all day. And man, I am impressed. Paul Jackson III, speed kills, and he goes all the way for a touchdown. And they're up by 21 now. And I feel bad for the Falcons, but they need to get those tackles going. They can't pick that give a hole.
If you're Coach Sullivan, you have to be ecstatic right now. As I said, you have to put this one away, and they put it away. And I think they did more than that. This crowd is hyped. The defense also has a lot of momentum going their way.
So the score right now is 28-7. Vikings lead big here as the kickoff's going to come from Walker
And here we
Rosenthal.
go. You know, if you're Saratoga, this is a must-score possession, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If you want to stay in this game, you have to score. Not only that, then also play good defense. There's an uphill battle, but you have to keep faith.
And the kick is up. That is a squib.
Another squib.
kick.
They're
And that
going
is
for the same guy every
By
time.
number 52,
Tackle made by Brian Jefferson.
Devin Mather. Sorry for the delay there. He's the junior, 6'1".
So now to the Falcons.
What a play by Beta. And man, Paly needs to start running the ball now when they're back on offense. What they have been doing for the most part. So just start running the ball because right now you got to go into winning mode basically.
I think if you're Rostiano, you have to keep these screen passes and forget them. Go deep. These corners, they have not tested them at all. Go deep or either start playing the run game. These screen passes are not going to win you this game or even get you back into it.
And the fact that they're winning this without Jameer Shepard, their star wide receiver sophomore, is great.
Rostinato
It's a great
back.
sign.
He throws. That's a swing
Oh,
pass.
wow.
And that is caught by number 3, Harrison Fong.
And it's great to see him back from the game as he left with an injury a bit ago.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see him healing as he's an amazing player.
You know, and on the Paly side of things, you know, it's just great to see these fans out here after so many devastating losses. It looks like they're going to get their first win tonight, and there's going to be a happy drive home.
You're right. It's not really much of a drive as it's a home game there.
I guess that's true. Okay, now you see that. That's wonderful. Run game, right? A pitch. We haven't seen that all game. That's been not there. That's not been there the whole game. And see what that got you? That got you a first down.
I completely agree with you. That is a great play call. The pitch, the read option. Sorry, not the read option. That is a great play. I love that play call. I need that every play.
And the shotgun. He looks. He throws. Caught.
Wow.
Number 3, Harrison Fong gets to the outside. And that is a gain of 10.
That's a slant route.
Wes
and that
Walters
went
with the tackle.
far.
That is a great play by Harrison Fong because what Harrison's doing right now is he is creating space. Harrison Fong knows how to get his cuts, and my man is playing a good game.
We now have an injured player down on the field, but he is up. That was number 65, Ali Little, the guard and defensive tackle.
Harrison Fong is playing the game of his life. Once again, I'm impressed. This guy is a senior, and you can see him in the next level, or maybe even playing on Sundays once in his life.
At the 33, first and 10.
So, 1st and 10. It's going to be the ball. It's going to be the ball for the Falcons as it's going to be 4th down. And there, how's your thinking on concussions in the NFL right now?
Yeah, you know, it's a huge problem. And as you can see, even on these high school teams, Palo Alto wasn't even been able to field a freshman team this year. I mean, as how popular football is, it is crazy. As that is a handoff to Fong, as Fong gets to the outside, and that is a first down.
That is a great play right there.
And that is actually Will Turner.
That was only a 2-yard because they started over there and they were trying to go. But it's going to be 2nd and 8, and right now the Falcons are driving. This is a great drive by the Falcons. They're trying to stay alive in this game and get a point and just try to get back in this game. They're inching slowly to get back into this game, and they're using everything that they can.
To go back to that concussion point, I mean, football is such a popular sport, and it's surreal to see that their freshman team cannot even be filled. 3:50 remaining in this one, and I think if Saratoga can stay in this one with the
Yeah, you know, it's just Palo Alto's really been playing a great game here, eh? You know.
So it's going to be 2nd and 7, Falcons ball.
Saratoga has to stay in this. Last time they were here, they got a couple penalties, and then they just got a turnover. It was not good early in the 3rd quarter. With 3:50 remaining, and you have only 2 timeouts remaining, you have to do something with the passing game. The running game will only get you so a little right now because, of course, their offensive line is not as good as that.
3 minutes, 50 seconds left. It's going to be the Falcons ball. This is a great game here on MC Sports. It's Friday night under the lights, and man, we're enjoying it here.
And we'd like to
as
give
the
a shout out
Vikings.
to our new crew members at MC Sports here. Thanks for joining us tonight.
So it's going to be Rostiano's going to hand this ball off, and that's going to be a first down
First
for the
down,
Falcons.
Palo Alto.
Falcons. First down,
Falcons.
Saratoga.
Oh, there, Cager.
When you look
Sorry
at that,
about
was
that.
right up the middle. And that's something that you see from a lot of college teams, go right up the middle and the teeth of his defense to get the first down.
And now we're seeing the running game for the Saratoga Falcons. The running game is finally inching in, and they look good this
That
drive.
was J.J. Wayne, pardon me, as Rossiano is going to run left, as he is going to sprint to the outside, and he gets out of bounds. A really good run there, hey?
Yeah,
he
it's
got
going to
out
be
of the
second and
pocket.
goal.
He got out of the pocket, which was key. Once he gets out of the pocket, he either finds a man or either runs out. Then see there, he ran out, and now it's 3:30 remaining. There's still enough time for them to come back.
So
it's only the third quarter.
It'll be 2nd and 2 for the Saratoga Falcons. Falcons gonna go. It's gonna be Russ Runner. He's gonna run it. He's gonna go. He got it.
And that is a touchdown.
Touchdown! What a play by the Falcons. Touchdown, inching back into this game, but there is a flag on the play.
As it looks like this one is coming back for a hold against the Falcons.
And man,
what a
that is
stinger
not
there.
what they want. That stings, that itches, because everything.
You still got to give Restiano credit. You know, that was a great run.
Yeah, I've been saying it all day. Run it, and he did it.
Right.
Yeah, he went right up the middle. I like that play design. Again, I don't think these defensive tackles can make a play, but holding is one of those penalties that takes the ball back into negative yardage. So what I mean by that is they lost 10 yards on that, and now they're at the 15, and they were, and instead of knocking on the end zone, they have still quite a ways to go. And he's going to the end zone, and that was way off. Oh, and that was a catch, and that's going to be a touchdown.
So, and that is a touchdown, and man, is inching away, and that's a great play by the Falcons to get back into this game.
Yeah, you know, and yeah.
If they're gonna come back, it starts now.
And it does, you know, but you got to think about it this way. They're 0-7. You know, do they really thrive in these moments? We haven't really seen that. So this is an opportunity for them to prove themselves.
I kind of disagree there. You have to thrive in these moments in order to be good, and you have to learn and get better.
Okay. Yeah, you know, but the only thing is that, you know, you don't really know. I agree that, you know, you have to, but we don't really have any evidence of that just yet. As the extra point is up and good.
So it's going to be 28-14. Vikings lead, but still, the Vikings just going to hand it off and try to control this game and lead it into the fourth quarter, into the end of the game.
And I'd like to apologize for some names that I got wrong when I was doing it.
So 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in the third quarter. And it's going to be the kickoff here.
Chip the clock away from Palo Alto. Keep running, keep running, keep running. Take as much clock as you can add on this drive. If he goes for a touchdown, let it go, and you're chilling.
So it's going to be 3 minutes, 15 once again, as there's a bit of delay on it.
As Palo Alto, you know, you still got to recognize they're still up 28-14. And, you know, if you're Palo Alto, you know, we have 3:15 left in the third quarter. You know, it is a little bit early to run the clock out.
You still run the ball. You still run the ball.
You still run the ball because that has really been their strength today. Yes, they have passed, but they need to run the ball.
Who do you think's going to win this game flat out? Do you think they're going to come back to Falcons?
I just really don't I don't see that happening. I think Palo Alto is too explosive on offense.
Especially against this D-line. I mean, Palo Alto's really figured out this week on offense.
We have an onside kick. And
oh, wow. Kyle Mossop is on it.
Covered, and he takes it
and that's
inside the 30.
That's the quarterback, Kyle Mossavizade, returning it. And what a play by Kyle Mossavizade.
Interesting decision there. You're down 2 scores. Why would you go for an onside? Play it out. You have 3 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter. What is the hurry to get the ball back? No onside. I don't like that, but great running there by Mostafizadeh to get in positive Falcon territory.
All right, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Palo Alto Vikings in the Falcons territory. And since he recovered the onside kick, it's going to be Kyle Masafazada, the backup quarterback, checking in.
Yes, do you think this, I don't know about this decision. Jackson Chris have been playing a great game.
I think they just blew the game. Honestly, it doesn't matter what quarterback you have, they have to run it.
Just when you're going to hand it off, it doesn't matter what quarterback it is. All you're doing is handing the ball off.
I think Saratoga just blew this game. They gave them such good field position. Now they're just going to run it out.
Kick it out of the back.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to run it off, chop these yards off. And honestly, I don't think what quarterback it is. Aiden Chang has played so well today. That's all you need.
I completely agree. But I do think it's a smart move by putting Kyle Masafazada in. What it does is it makes this offense more limited, and it gets Kyle Masafazada more experience for later in his career. And both of these players are juniors, so next year we'll even have to see who it is. And PG3, baby.
As that is hauled in by number 31, Paul Jackson III. But
see the replay here. Masafazada puts it up, and look at that. Jackson III, bang, bang. What a catch by Jackson III.
And it's coming back. Another penalty.
And that is so frustrating as a Vikings fan. When you do something good and it comes back, because they do all this work and it goes back. They need to improve their penalty calls, because I'm just going to face it, Saratoga is not a good team. When you face a good team like Wilcox in 2 weeks, you cannot have those holding calls, because you're going to have some clutch stuff. You're going to have some clutch plays like that. You cannot have a holding call on that, because right now, Palo Alto is playing a great game, but they need people to hold them. And right now, Paul Jackson III's holding.
Musadov is in the pistol, and they are going to run that
and
to
Chang.
Number 22, Aiden Chang, as he is.
Was it a touchdown or no? I don't think he got it.
He is marked short.
Well, that was easy. Cut back all the yardage, just give it off to Aiden Chang.
Great play by the Vikings, but man, that D-line for Saratoga needs to step
However, there's a
up.
flag, and this one might be coming back.
We'll see how they call it.
As that is a hold.
Holding on Paly, and that is frustrating when Aiden Chang does all that work and it goes for nothing, man.
And I actually believe that was a block in the illegal block in the back there.
And when you're in the red zone, it's fine because you're still in field goal range. But still, you're winning by 14, yeah. But you need to be careful because when you're facing a good team like Wilcox in 2 weeks, you're gonna have to step it up.
Absolutely.
It's 2nd and 29. Like,
it is still a first down, though. You got to remember. So
that is true. The high school rules are different.
We now have 150 left in the third quarter. Frostedov is going to look. He's going to scramble. He's going to throw, and that is
Seattle Harbor. You need to hold on to the ball. Besides first down, and the other one was a touchdown. Seattle Millard needs to hold on to the ball because that is 2 key drops for Seattle.
Yeah.
Again, I do not like that call.
Really?
Run the ball out. As much as an open touchdown that was, there are drops like that. And now you're 143, and that stops the clock, and that's what Saratoga wants. If you're a Saratoga team right now, you have to be happy. I mean,
and if you're going to throw the ball,
exactly
put Jackson Chris in the game. I mean, that was a perfect pass by Kyle Masafazada, I guess. You can't blame him.
I can't blame that, but I mean, you always have to keep that margin of error, and we just saw that right there, a drop.
You going to hit it off here, though? It's 2nd and 10.
Of course
off in the pistol. He snaps.
And they do to Paul.
And that is a handoff to number 31, Paul Jackson III.
And he's tackled right there by Devin Matthew. That's a great tackle by Matthew right there. That's making sure that he doesn't get the touchdown.
That's really the first time we've seen Saratoga block them before the first down. Or, excuse me, tackle them before the first down. I mean, that's this whole second half. It's just been running wild. Left, right, anywhere you see, Saratoga has not been able to tackle any of these running backs. Masafazade is back in the game.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Vikings as they're trying to make this game out of reach and capitalize on points on the Saratoga mediocre, nice to say, defense.
Mostadov is in the pistol. They hand it off to Paul Thigh.
Paul Thigh with
He
a
has
nice
stopped
end around.
short of the first down.
I completely agree with the play call, but flip it. Give it to Janacio Henley instead of Paul Thigh.
But there's a
not
flag.
the biggest fan of the end around of Paul Thigh. He does not have the speed that
And it
Henley
looks
has.
like this one is coming back.
I don't like that. That was too predictable. There were no wide receivers on the outside. That just makes it know that there's a run. So Saratoga can get in the box. And another penalty. I mean, what else?
That
can
is
we
so frustrating. Even though they're winning by 2, that is frustrating that they're holding again. Even though they're in the red zone, you need to capitalize off points. But man, I can't be talking because they're winning. But still, if they were losing this game, I would be yelling.
And the clock, started to run as it was stopped shortly there on the scoreboard. But now it's interesting because you have, 3rd and 15. So you have to throw in this case. I don't think the running game will help you out at all.
And they do a play action. It looks to be Moss Fazzani's going to throw this one to Jackson.
And that is
He got it!
by Paul Jackson, the third. A great catch there, and they took a gamble on 4th down. Or was that on 3rd down? Pardon me.
It's a great gamble. You're winning. Who cares? Just throw it up to Jackson the third. He'll get it. Play it. Roll the dice. Bang, bang. 31 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. What a play by the Vikings. Capitalizing off the mistakes of all the holds. Touchdown, Vikings!
What else do you want him to do? He's been all over the floor as a PAT is good, but he's gotten a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. He's done more than put this game away for Palo Alto. After that
And what a game Jackson's playing, but also what a play by Moss Fazzani throwing dots coming into the game for Chris. And man, Paly has 2 good quarterbacks on their hands. Who you gonna pick? Who do you think's better? Flat out pick right now.
I think Palo Alto's going to win this game. They are too explosive on offense.
And who do you pick for quarterback? Who's better, Cal Moss Fazzani or Jackson Chris?
Jackson Chris.
I think it's Jackson Chris. Chris, they're both good, but but I think Chris has the potential.
Really,
Look at Chris.
I agree.
I think he's that perfect quarterback body. I hate to say that. I hate to term it that way, but his strength in
Moss
the
Fazzani's
pocket.
a lot smaller.
Yeah, and his strength in the pocket. He's a little bit well built, if you say. He looks just bigger if you look at him on the sidelines. He's bigger and faster. So
They're both talking on the sideline right now. Hopefully they're in good terms, even though they compete with each other. They're both happy. They both throw touchdowns, and they're going to win a game tonight.
And
30 seconds left in the
that
third.
competition's good. You always want competitions, inter-competition, as that motivates you to be better. Excuse me.
What do you guys think the best competition of 2 quarterbacks is in the NFL?
I really think in the NFL it is.
It's more college where they have
I think
that.
it's Drew Brees and Marcus Mariota. I think they're 2 very good quarterbacks that really, I just think Marcus Mariota is underrated, and Drew Brees, he has the second most all-time passing yards in the NFL behind, third most behind Brett Favre and Peyton Manning.
That's a great one, but also, who's the best 2 quarterbacks on the same team matchup, like Moss Fazzani and Chris?
I would say
That's a tough one.
I would say the Broncos. They have
Semien and Lynch.
Trevor Siemian, and then Paxton Lynch. And Paxton Lynch is really inactive. And they have you can also make the case for the
Chicago?
Patriots.
Oh, wow.
As
Jimmy Garoppolo
Rosendahl
and
takes
Tom
a
Brady.
snap, he looks deep, and he finds a man.
That's number 2.
Henley.
Metz. Alex Metz. You're looking at the Palo Alto roster.
Oh,
Yes,
yes.
that was Alex Metz. Come on, fair catcher. So Alex Metz gets the first down. And that should be near the end of the third quarter. Sorry.
The thing I have to say about the offense that Rostiano's running right now is very one-dimensional.
And
Rostiano
Rostiano's
runs it
run
on
that
the
ball
read.
for a gain of 3.
And that should end the third quarter here. Here in Palo Alto. So at the third of the third quarter. Yeah,
Pardon
the
me,
score.
checked up.
Vikings
2 yards.
35, Falcons Corse.
That was a long third quarter, to be
Yeah, it
honest.
was.
Very choppy, a lot of whistles, a lot of flags. In fact, it took
But Paly's looking like they're going to win a game, though.
it took at least 15 minutes. You have to clean up those holding calls. They were right there at the 15-yard line, and guess where they were? by the end of that, right before that touchdown, on the 35-yard line.
And what game?
Straight holding penalties, not acceptable.
And what college game are you guys looking at tomorrow? That's the most interesting. I honestly,
Penn State, Ohio State.
Exactly.
Gotta
That
be.
game on at noon should be an amazing game. And I got Ohio State winning it. Even though Penn State got all the swag, I think they're overrated. Michigan's an overrated team. Ohio State's a good team. The reason they lost to Oklahoma is because Oklahoma, I think, is going to win the national championship. Baker Mayfield's a legit player. And Ohio State is a really good team also. They're going to beat Penn State tomorrow and take big.
But you got to remember, with Penn State, having Saquon Barkley and Mick Shorley, Mick Shorley, do you see as him being a top 10 draft pick in the NFL?
No, I don't.
To ask you guys,
He's not. He just kind of hands it off to Saquon. His arm hasn't showed enough prospect yet for him to be a top 10
to
draft
ask
pick.
you guys this, I think we asked this with Tyree Bracey last week, but do you guys think Jackson Chris can be an college quarterback?
NFL, no. College, not quite as good as his brother, but he can play. I think somewhere not D1. I don't think he's quite as good as his brother. His brother has a better arm. Tonight, Jackson Chris, oh my God, of course. But he's too inconsistent in his career to be able to play at D1 like his brother or Stanford or anything like that. His career has been too inconsistent, but he still has the rest of this year and a whole other year next year to prove me wrong.
I think the most important thing for a high school quarterback is that if you have the right strength, the right power, I think he does have the arm strength. I think he just needs to prove it with a more consistent team around him. If you talk about the injuries, like today we saw the injury with Shepard, and then also this running game has not been that stable. Aiden Chang has been running, but other than that, there's not that much. Paul Jackson's been kind of fluctuating a little.
There is Rostitano. He is going to throw, and that is, oh man, that is caught as Palo Alto lays a huge hit.
Wow, what a hit right there on Palo Alto's part. As this defense is led by number 10, Wes Walters, the junior. You ask who can play D1 on this team, Wes Walters can play D1. He is a very good player. That middle linebacker, he can play and he can lead the team. He's the captain of the defense.
Well, I wonder if Saratoga, I think the thing about Saratoga is that the thing that hurt, really the drive that hurt them the most was at the beginning of the third quarter where they had the penalty that really put them back at the 35-yard line. I think that screwed this game up for them. Otherwise, they could have been in this.
There's two huge games on at 12:30 tomorrow. With also what we just talked about, and Notre Dame versus North Carolina State playing each other at 12:30. Number 9 in the country versus number 14.
Notre Dame looks pretty impressive this year.
And look at this. This is a touchdown.
That is a touchdown for Saratoga.
And this is worrisome for the Paly defense. They cannot exactly stop Saratoga's offense these last two drives. They need to get it together right now because if they get a stop right here, score a touchdown, this game's a ball game.
They still have 2 scores leniency depending on this PAT. But I think, Saratoga has picked it up on the run game, as I mentioned right before we started this half, is that they have to get that going, and I think they got the memo there.
As here we go, the extra points for the Falcons is up and
Good. Yeah, so fourth quarter here. And do you guys see a comeback coming in for the Falcons or no?
Well, it all depends on what they do this play. If they do another onside kick and don't get it, I think it's over, like they did last time.
I say you go deep. You just kick it away.
Yeah, exactly. Just kick it straight up. And depending on your defense, which I think can be dependable if you play smart. You can't sag off on the receivers like you did, and you have to play the box defense against this strong running offense.
And for the Vikes, who do you put in? Jackson Christ or Kyle Mosfazadeh?
Mosfazadeh. I think he's a safer bet for now. Rest Christ. Look forward to next week. You have to play it safe.
And speaking of next week, the Vikings next week have the big Los Altos coming into town for senior night. And Los Altos, not a good team this year. Was in D2 last year playing gun. The level down, Paly could win that game. They get the third win. And then they'll probably lose to Wilcox at Wilcox. That game got canceled due to the fire 2 weeks ago. And they'll go to the playoffs. I predict the Vikings are going to go Right now, they're 1-6. I think they're going to win this game, win next week, be 3-6, then lose their last game, go 3-7, and then lose pretty early in the playoffs. But I think next year we're going to see a completely different Vikings team.
Yeah, you know, and you can just see that with the, you know, how good the JV team
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
I mean, they're undefeated.
I think
They
you
are.
have to make another NFL analogy, if you will, to the Philadelphia Eagles.
And
They
let's
saw
see.
the growth of young quarterbacks. Same thing with the LA Rams. Chris has to grow, and he has to become better.
Yeah, I agree.
That is taken by
By
number
Millar.
33,
Seattle
Seattle
Millar.
Hemmler.
Seattle Millar, very good player. Today he struggled just a tiny bit, but I can't say that
Millar,
because
pardon me.
he did have a pick today, but he had 2 key drops tonight. Where he needs to hold on to those. But that's a great job by him catching that and make sure not to muff it. And what you said earlier, they did not do the onside kick.
Now here's a challenge for Paly. Can you hold this ball, keep the clock running for at least 3 minutes? Can you do that? I mean, they haven't been able to do that this whole game.
All right, as we're going to switch, I'm going to be doing play-by-play, and Thayer's going to go over to the color for the end of this game. So, we're going to have Chris under center is going to hand this ball off and to Chang, and for about 2. So this game just got tight there. It's there, man.
I love
Do you
that
think
play call.
They got a chance, the Falcons, at winning this game?
You know, I don't know. Yeah, I think they do, but just Palo Alto so explosive on offense. And, you know, I've just been going on and on about their offense, but really their defense has shown some life, too.
Talent looks like there might be a new quarterback there.
And
Number 9,
Jackson Crisp back in again, as you thank our truck for telling us there. Jackson Crisp back in for Kyle Masafizadeh. Is they disagreed with what you said. You don't agree with that, huh?
I just don't understand the system as Aiden Chang goes really for nowhere. Why do you keep fluctuating between quarterbacks? What's the point? Just keep one quarterback in, go with them, stick with them. They've done this. They even did this last week where they put Masafizadeh, started him, and then put Kyle. It's too confusing for me. Like, keep one quarterback.
I agree. Just stay with one quarterback. Stop switching. Stay with Chris. Stay with Masafizadeh. I could care less. Just keep someone in. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Vikes, and it's going to be Chris checking in.
And to be honest, between Masafizadeh and Chris, there's not that great of a difference where one is super great and one is not that good. They play the same style. I mean, this Paly offense goes through its run game, so it makes it way easier, and the quarterback takes the load off.
So, Chris under center is going to go, looking like a lefty, but he's bang! He's sacked! And this game just got interesting, ladies and gentlemen. And the punt team is going to have to come on for Palo Alto, and this game is interesting.
But hold on. There is a penalty flag down on the field.
But it could be on the Pikes.
The referee
2.
threw that pretty hard. I mean, he threw that like 10 yards down.
What a play there by number 54 on the Saratoga Falcons, Jake Paly.
And that's against Saratoga. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Saratoga, and that is a break for the Palo Alto Vikings. And if you're at home watching this game and you're a Saratoga Falcons fan, you need to be pissed off because that is a 30-yard penalty. Your team had a chance to get apart, score, win their first game of the year, and bang, bang, personal foul on Saratoga. You just gave up 30 yards. You guys had a chance, and that is frustrating, isn't it there?
Oh, yes, it is. And, you know, this game is really, you know, if the Falcons, that's really their last life there. You know, we have a little bit over 9:30 left in the 4th quarter, and that really hurt them.
And I'd like to say, Palo Alto has not thrown a pick all day. I think that's really good. This is the first game Paly's done all year where they haven't thrown a pick. That's really cool because that shows that their quarterbacks have been more accurate. Hopefully we don't jinx it and pull an announcer's jinx, but so far, Paly has not thrown a pick.
Yeah, I was just about to say touch wood on that. But honestly, that penalty was so big, it also moved them into their own, their Falcons territory.
That
And
is
now they
so
only have-
frustrating.
They only
Did you
have
see what the
40
personal
yards.
foul was?
I believe it was unsportsmanlike conduct because he got up and he, you know, kind of.
Give him a little stare.
He stood over him for a while, and I think that's what the refs caught. But I don't think, you know, you can flag that every time. It's
Yeah.
debatable.
Chris is going to give this one to Wes Walters, the fullback. And Walters is going to run it. Walters is going to go. Touchdown, Vikings! Touchdown, Weston Walters, number 10, the fullback, and that may ice this game where the Saratoga defense can't get the stop.
You know, that is a great run there. You know, busted through many defenders, a big block there by Palo Alto, and I don't know who it was, but that was a great block by the Palo Alto.
Weston Walters, the junior, the star on defense, playing a game for himself on offense. And man, what a game Weston Walters is playing.
Well, he's so big and powerful, it kind of looked like a bowling ball, and if I was a tackler, I'd be scared too of tackling him. He is really, you know, I don't think they could have been able to tackle him.
And as you see, there's a student's actually lively as always, but a bit more lively tonight because there's a wind coming here in Palo Alto. The band loud, and there was a penalty flag in the game. Play, and the score did not count. The score did not count. Everything goes back. Wes Walters, amazing score does not count. The Blue Roars come in, and that is frustrating as a penalty flag comes in. It's 1st and 10 for the Vikes.
And just a heads up, if you are watching out there, it is 35-21.
As Jackson Chris is going to be running, and he's going to be tackled right there. What a tackle by number 54, Jake Bean. And Jake Bean has had a game for himself. As me and Oliver and Zach called this game in the first half, Jake Bean was all over the place. Jake Bean has been all over the second half. And man, I just feel bad for Weston Walters getting that touchdown called back.
That is such a big turnaround. I mean, you know, you get the touchdown called back, and on top of that, you get sacked. That's really got to be bad for this O-line, and the whole group is together. As Wes Walker's back in, watch out for him. Maybe they might get him for a handoff.
7 minutes, 45 seconds left in this ball game as they give it to Aiden Chang. Aiden Chang, bang, bang, he down. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Vikes. And worrisome there or no?
You know, I don't know if I'm worried yet. You know, part of me, it's actually going to be 3rd and 11, but I don't know if I'm worried yet. You know, I just don't really, I mean, you're up by 2 scores, and there's under 8 minutes left to play. You know, and you have the ball in the red zone. I just think
you can always settle for a field goal if you're kicker Tyler Fogg.
Right.
I mean, you know, really at this point it doesn't matter. You still have some leeway with 2 scores. Run the clock out. You cannot snap this ball early. I would even take a timeout if you have to. And I don't know, they might do that. It seems like they're going to do that.
As they got 7 minutes to play, I think Chris needs to hurry up and get on the field, or else they will be taking a timeout, and they do. Danny Sullivan calls it. That's a smart timeout, and that's a great call by you, as you predicted it. NBA scores around the league. We got the Warriors playing the Washington Wizards tonight, as the Wizards came in at 3. Sorry, the Warriors look to be leading this game here. Sorry, not leading this game. They are losing this game by 2 with 4 minutes and 32 seconds left. The Warriors down. Is that worrisome there to the season if they go 3-3?
Nah, I mean, you know, of course there's always concern. There's a lot of different things going on, but there's not much concern for me.
Not much concern for you yet. Not much concern until April, I would say. It's 109-109. So it's going to be 3rd and 11 after the timeout on the Vikes part. 6 minutes 55. I have some trivia for you guys. Name the one NBA team that is undefeated. Still undefeated.
Man.
The Clippers.
Correct. The Los Angeles Clippers, losing Chris Paul, stay undefeated. And that's surprising.
And you know, this game is in the Bay Area right now, so we will keep you updated on the Warriors tonight.
So 6 minutes 55, 3rd and 11. Jackson Chris, and it got Chris is gonna throw it to thigh. 1st down Vikings. Paul Jackson III with another catch, and what a game he's having as Jackson Chris and Paul Jackson III having a game in their life.
And it'll be 1st and goal.
So 1st and 3 as the Astros hang on to beat the Dodgers and survive that series, and it's 2-1 Astros lead.
I mean, I'm happy that happened. We'll see what, as the series will go along. Maybe next week we might have a final verdict of who won.
First and goal for the Palo Alto Vikings, trying to just put an exclamation mark as Jackson Chris is going to throw this one by Seattle Millar. Catch! Touchdown Vikings!
And did you see that catch?
2 drops, key drops, bang bang, touchdown Seattle Millar. Wow! One-handed catch goes up. Odell Beckham. What a play by Seattle Millar.
Just an amazing athletic play there by Palo Alto, and they are up by 3 scores. How much of an impact does this have?
They just won the game. I mean, let's face it there. I wouldn't say as clean as Odell Beckham, of course, but definitely can be in contention.
Is now up and good.
And shout out to Tyler Folk. He's 6 for 6 tonight on extra points. Tyler Folk, such a good person. Junior, small kid, good player as he's leading. 6 minutes left in this game. 6 minutes left, guys. Any thoughts about this game, or you think this game's pretty much wrapped?
I think Palo Alto definitely improved on what they were, the concerns of last week. I think the biggest concern of last week was, can this offense really get going? And we've seen more than that today. Then the other question was, can this defense stay consistent? And they've sort of been consistent, but the last 2 drives, they've not been that good.
No Jameer Shepard, no problem. But I think the biggest concern for the Vikings right now is just their penalties. Getting Holden back for 2 holdings. The Palo Alto Vikings penalties has been the biggest problem for the Vikings all day. So 6 minutes left, 42-21, as the Vikings are set to kick this ball away. So it's going to get loud in here as we're ready to kick this ball off. It's going to be Rosenthal, and it's off. As the band lively as always, it's going to be a little bit of moth fumble on a play, but number 14 gets it frantically. The Saratoga player is going to go, and he's finally tackled. That player looked to be number 14. It was Pravin Bajadavavar, the wide receiver defensive back, and he could not hold on to that ball. And it is surprisingly hard to hold on to those balls, isn't it? When they're coming at you and you fumble, to re-get them, like a scoop and score. When you're playing defense, it's hard to hold on to them.
Absolutely, because, I mean, in a blink of an eye, there's always a worry of getting hit really hard and a potential concussion. So you have to be careful for everything.
Nicholas Fontiero is going to get sacked for a bang, 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 chop, chop. It's going to be number 65, I believe, on the Vikings. Go Vikes.
Sack made by number 65, Joe
Because that's
As we
Joe
now
Reynolds.
have under 5:50 left to play here in regulation.
I'm
Joe
glad
Reynolds
Saratoga-
on a sack. That's his first sack of the night, and what a good one. And this one's going to be thrown, and he's going to be tackled. What a tackle there. And this game's getting out of hand. And Seattle Millar makes a great tackle, and the Vikings looked in to win their 2nd game of the year.
I mean, for Saratoga now that they are going to move on to 0-8, it's definitely very disappointing. I mean, honestly, I have to say this was literally a battle of last places, but what we've seen from Rostiano is very encouraging. I have to give him some credit. He's been rolling right, rolling left, finding people, and once he gets out of the pocket, it's very successful.
Jackson Christ also has played a terrific game, as running it is number 12 on. It's going to be, I'm looking at the wrong roster. The quarterback, Nicholas Rostria. No fouls, a late hit. Honestly, to be honest, I thought they were going to call that a late hit. He kind of pulled the horse collar there.
Yeah, very surprising. I think the refs are looking forward to get out of here quickly. This game has been stretching on for a while.
Refs want to catch the end of the Warriors game.
But with 5 minutes remaining, they're going for it, I guess. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, they're punting.
No, it looks to be punting, but watch a fake, maybe, or no? Not like this.
No, you can't take the risk. I mean, maybe if they want to do it, but I feel like that's unsportsmanlike.
Quint Dozier going to kick this baby up, and that's not a good punt. Jackson the third, blocked out. That's a foul right there. And finally they throw it. That's a late foul called.
I don't know if these refs are reluctant to call flag today or not. Seems like they just did not want to call that and, move on.
That was a foul on the Saratoga Falcons. .448 left in this fourth quarter. As Paly playing a great game. Paul Jackson playing a great game. Everyone on this Paly squad contributing to making this a great game for the Vikes.
Interference with the receiver called against Saratoga.
Yeah, and that's the right call there, as that was an interference there. And Paly's going to have even better field position to try to make this game a blowout by even more. Right now, it's a 21-point game. They're trying to make this a 28-point game. Paly win their second game of the year. And wow, look at that field position the Vikes are going to have. They're going to be on the 28-yard line. They're going to try to get more points, but right now you just got to hand the ball off as Masavazade is still in this game.
Kyle Masavazade now in his quarterback again.
Masavazade is going to hand it off to number 20, his first handoff of the day.
That's number 20, Manny Soto.
Is Manny Soto, a senior, 5'6" running back. That's his first one of the day. That's a nice job by Manny Soto. That's nice to give him some handoffs. He's not going to get very normal if this game was close.
I think right now for Paly, you have to focus on Wilcox. As much as you want to celebrate this win, it's important for Coach Danny Sullivan to run his plays. There's only one time you can get on the field before the actual game. And I would run you can kind of like plan your game plan based on this game for next week.
Yeah, because they got Los Altos coming in next week. As Los Altos, a D2 team, should be a pretty easy game for the Vikes. But the next week they go to Wilcox. That game is going to be a tough one for the Vikings.
And that, if they can, hang on and win that one somehow, that's going to be a really, shocking because. And if they can do that, I mean, that's a great upset for them.
And that's a great end of the season.
Yeah, and, I mean, the seeding for playoffs, if you talk about this, there's still playoffs remaining, and that will really lift their rankings high in the CCS.
And just give them confidence for the playoffs also. And maybe by the time they'll have Jameer Shepard back. Number 3 is on the sideline tonight. Last night also for some undisclosed reasons. So it's going to be a handoff to Manny Soto. Soto's going to keep going. Swatted away, though, this time by number 28 on Saratoga. That looks to be William Turpin.
I like the way he spinned away from the defender there, showing signs of improvement.
Sure? Yeah. Sophia Soto?
So they're in the red zone now. I wonder what they do with the 3 minutes remaining. I don't know if they'll let the 2-minute warning pass by or not, but we'll see.
Friday Night on the Lights has always been a huge tradition here in Palo Alto. As years after years, it's just been carried on. Friday night, what you're going to do, you're going to go watch the local high school play. It's a great tradition. They just carry it as Masavazade is going to roll out and throw it. He's going to try to find number 16. It's going to be Brian Jefferson, and Jefferson is going to get the first down, or it should be tight. Did he get the first down? It will be tight. Great play by Brian Jefferson. Brian Jefferson is the center on the basketball team. He's a great player, G-Sport athlete.
Yeah.
Right, so you can tell right away he plays basketball. He's very tall. You can tell right away he plays basketball.
6'5", that is ball. So it's going to be 2 minutes and 10 counting down in this game. This game is nearly over as the Vikings not trying too hard to get points on the board.
And remember, there's no 2-minute warning in high school football.
And it's 3rd and 7. Masavazade hands it off. Saratoga wanted the foul there, but they don't get it. It's going to be Raylan Boderux.
I think what would be the best sportsmanship, I mean, I'm always for sportsmanship, is just to, take a knee. I mean, this Saratoga team's getting blown out.
Yeah, I say you take a knee here, and it looks like they may do so, and I think that's great sportsmanship. As it's 4th and 3, though, so that may not exactly work out. Should you take the field goal?
No, I think, again, run the clock out. Probably, running is the most sensible thing.
As the Warriors up 118 to 117 with 9 seconds left in the game, as KD made a pull-up 3 to give them the lead. 1 minute 12 left on 4th and 3. Paly going for it. Sportsmanlike? Question mark? As Masafazada's going to run it himself. He runs it in the end zone. That's his first career running touchdown. Touchdown, Vikings. And there's a flag on the Vikings. Should be a holding.
But that was a nice play there. Confused the whole Saratoga defense.
Read option, and I love it.
To put the exclamation point. But, and of course.
Up, and it's a legal formation on the Vikes. Not very good, but hey, they're winning the game. Who cares? But still, great play by Masafazade. Either way, they shouldn't want to get the score. It's maybe give Tyler Fogg a shot or just take a knee because it's 4th and 8.
We now have 56 seconds left in the 4th quarter with Palo Alto leading
42-21. 21-point game here.
And
see what they decide.
And they're going for it, so I don't know what they'll do. Chang's in the game. He hasn't been there for a while. They had they're just going to take it. I like that decision.
I do too. I love it.
It takes a lot of guts to take a knee.
And you want to keep it respectable, You don't want to be very rude, as it's going to be.
On 4th and 8, they're going to take it.
Masafazade under center. 2 quarterback day, but Vikings still handle it to get the lead. But interesting enough, that's going to stop the time, or it should at least, and it's going to give a chance for. It's going to get a chance for Saratoga, but. They stopped the time at 45 seconds, but now Saratoga has a chance to score. Do you think they're going to, try to score? I mean, they could.
They could. Either way, it doesn't really matter at this point. The only thing that would matter is that if, they really get a breakout play or something, but I don't think that's very probable as they're at the 10-yard line.
So, 45 seconds left. 42-21, Vikings lead. Before we go, and before we end this game, we want to thank the MC Sports crew, everyone in the camera, in the truck, the directors, switchers, the audio, the graphics, every single person involved in setting up and making this game on TV. So, 45 seconds left. It's going to be lining up number 12, Nicholas Rostiano, trying to make something happen. For the Falcons, Nicholas Rostiano. Rostiano in the gun. Does a play action. Rostiano's going to throw this ball deep. And he gives it over. And man, he's still on his feet. That's a great play to William Turpin. And they're trying to score. These Falcons are not going away. Isn't that right there? They're trying to score here.
Yes, but we all know who's going to win. Palo Alto is going to take the victory. And they're going to move on to 2 and 6.
So 1st and 10.
I don't blame them for trying to score. They've been.
Ostiero gives it to his man, Harrison Ron. Earlier, the fans of Palo Alto in the student section were chanting some things about Harrison Fong. They were chanting, Harrison Fong's overrated, but I don't see the point of that. That's lifting the spirits of your win again. I never get why fans get overrated when you beat a team, because that's just making it seem like your team's underrated. They give it to the man Harrison Fong, and Harrison Fong is fast, and he's chased down there.
You know what I think is funny? Every time there's a last drive, when the seconds and the clock is ticking down, the losing team always plays so great.
It's so true. Oliver, the cameraman right there, was telling me this earlier. Earlier in this game, he was telling me that you always play better on your last drive when you know you're going to lose because there's no pressure. And I completely agree. You have tempo, momentum, and that's totally working out.
Look at this drive. There's 6 seconds remaining. You can easily give up. They're at the 35-yard line knocking on a touchdown. It's absolutely wonderful to me.
I completely agree. Every single team plays better when they're losing by a lot. You think they're going to go deep there? For Hail Mary?
Yeah, probably. Why not? 6 seconds left in the game.
Send
and 5.
Send it for the boys.
Something to cheer for, root for Saratoga at the end of the game.
Yeah. And if
Well,
Paly
that's
gets a
needed.
pick, that's even better for the Vikes. You know, just lift their spirits up. So
I mean, but again, to go back to that Paly defense, just real quick, last point is that they can't give these plays up. I mean, the last 4 to 5 drives, they have not done a very good job against offense.
So Nicholas Rostriano throws it, and wow, Harrison Fong just gets lighted up, and this game is over. Wow, and this game is over, everybody, and thank you for joining us, as this was an amazing game here, and I enjoyed it. You guys enjoy it?
Oh, heck yeah.
And what's your final thoughts? Who do you guys think was the MVP of this game? I gotta give it to Jackson Chris.
Same here, but I also have to give it to Paul Jackson III. He played a phenomenal game, took the second half over. That's what I really like to see when I see a dominant player.
I totally agree, and it's not only him, just an overall dominant performance by Palo Alto.
So our final score is the Palo Alto Vikings 42, who improves to 2-6, to the Saratoga Falcons, who go to 0-8. We want to thank our entire MC Sports crew. Our next broadcast will be next Friday for senior night here in Palo Alto, taking on Los Altos. I'm your play-by-play, Casey Hornbeek, for my broadcast partners there and tonight. I'm Casey. This has been a student sports production of the Midpen Media Center. Have a terrific night. Woo!